for the assembly has always been a goal of his, and the decision about which office to run for will come to him when the time is right. He won his first term as mayor in 2020, becoming Hudson's first black mayor, and has lived in Hudson since he was 8 years old. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
WBOK 1230 AM online at WBOK1230.com.
Set adrift on memory bliss of you.
Report. I'm the coach, Garrett Sachere. Jazz is behind the glass, the puppet master, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator. Jazz. Jazz, let's just start off with the elephant in the room, and that is, have you put your money down on the odds for the Saints to win the Super Bowl?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are
but
you?
I wouldn't be talking about your money.
Are you serious?
I wouldn't. If I'm talking about your money, I'm serious.
All right. Let's elephant in the room,
Elephant in the room.
right? I am extremely enthused and happy with the outcome of the game Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, right? I am all the way enthused. I am pleased, more than pleasantly pleased, with the performance of one Derek Carr, right? I am ecstatically pleased.
He said ecstatically.
With the performance of one Trevor Pudding.
Trevor Pudding.
I am ecstatically surprised and pleased at the way that he held up yesterday afternoon.
Because he's a first round pick. All right. The man's a first round pick. Stop doubting him. Stop hating.
No,
on him.
I'm not doubting him because he's a first round pick. I'm doubting him because of the product that he put on the field last year.
Because he sucks.
Now this year, which is one game in, he looked a lot better. I mean, a lot better.
You know how I know he looked a lot better? I didn't watch him.
You didn't hear him.
But even, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I said, let me watch. Like, I
Let me
watched
watch-
him one time
because
and he did okay, and I never came back to him.
Because
'Cause
that's
he wasn't
always
messing up.
Because normally there's something that happens on that side of the line that make you be like, "What's going on over there? Let me look. Is that Trevor Penning?"
I just decided to, I decided to take layups yesterday and look at Foskey and Peyton Turner.
So you know me, I was watching him, and then I found myself halfway through the game looking at someone else, like just by instinct. I stopped looking over there because I was like, "Oh, he's handling his business. If I see him, if something happens, I'll notice." And nothing really happened. He had a penalty. Well, whoop-de-doo, big deal. It's the offensive
I'm not worried
line.
about penalties.
Everyone's gonna have some penalties.
I hope
Watch
he
this.
I hope he does get a penalty.
That's what I'm about to say. Some penalties I want, like the one Fuaga got. I'm not too upset about
I
that.
hope he gets a penalty. I don't care.
Yeah,
Just
you know.
block him.
So I mean, hey, so far so good. But, and here's the but. Let's not get before ourselves. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's wait, like I said, till game number 5, and then I'll let you know if we may be heading for the Super Bowl.
Oh, nice. The Super Bowl.
Game number 5, I'll let you know.
This is where we are. Super Bowl now. That's where I figured we'd be. That's where I figured we'd be. And so, as you know, and the listeners know, that my prediction this year for the Saints has been 7 wins and 10 L's. After watching the game yesterday and the total dismantling of the Atlanta Falcons, I have changed.
Carolina Panthers.
I'm sorry, the Carolina Panthers. Sorry.
You looking forward to the future.
I have I have changed my prediction after the 47-10 drubbing of the Panthers from 7-10 to 6-11. I actually think we're going to be worse. In the end, we're going to go 6-11.
How does that one make you backslide?
Well, I didn't backslide. This is where I've been sliding all along, but I got caught up in the momentum of everybody talking.
Okay,
so I
that
went up one.
That one extra win was just you being
caught
hopeful.
up in the moment.
You being hopeful.
I got caught up in the moment.
Okay,
but now after watching them, and you know why?
But how after that game you can't give them an extra 2 wins?
But here's the deal. You know why? Because this is what they do.
This is what they do.
They
show up.
They get us. They get the
They
fans.
get you on board.
I was driving here, listening to the radio. Guy on a national deal He was just running through the games next week, just running through them. And he said the Saints and the Cowboys. And in my mind, I said, if we beat them, we will be talking Super Bowl at 2-0 in this city. 2-0, and we will be saying the Super Bowl is happening. If we beat the Cowboys,
you putting way too much stock into a win over the Cowboys.
We beat the Cowboys. We 2-0. People will be selling T-shirts on the side of the street.
It's New Orleans. There's somebody already at the T-shirt press.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I that's a little bit too much stock to be putting on that Dallas Cowboy game. That's a little bit too much.
I'm not putting stock. I'm saying 2-0.
Okay, you're saying just 2-0.
That type of.
Okay.
Here we go. Saints all the way. I believe.
I'm gonna tell you. I need to see 5-0. If I see 5-0, I'll see Super Bowl caliber team. If I see 5-0, I am not gonna see 5-0. Somewhere along that line, they're gonna drop the ball once, which is in I want
drop the ball. That would mean they are in control of their own destiny. The ball has been dropped. We just don't know it yet. They have already dropped the ball 11 times.
So you saying the ball is sitting on the ground for next week? That's next week game ball right there sitting on the ground. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying they've dropped the ball 11 times in 17 games. We just don't know it yet. So let's talk about these Saints. These guys that I'm on them right now, just because that's what you do. Did you know that they scored 9 possessions in the start of the game, Young Jazz? 9 possessions. I don't know if they scored 9 possessions in 3 games sometimes last year, some stretches. For sure in 2. They forced 3 turnovers. Okay. Bryce Young was sacked 4 times. Let me just go out and say right now, I feel sorry for that boy because he ain't getting no better, and he ain't going to get no better. And he's going to get broke up. His little butt going to get broke up out there. Good kid. Good kid. I met him when I was at Alabama, and good kid. But, man, and you see him next to C.J. Stroud and what Anthony Richardson's doing. Ooh, that's rough. Saints scored their first touchdown in less than 3 minutes. When's the last time that happened, Jazz? And
I don't know, because I'm gonna tell you, I was late turning it on, and I turned it on. It was kicking a field goal. It was kicking an extra point. I was like, whoa!
First touchdown in the first 3 minutes.
It was like play number 3 or 4 or something like that.
And then 14 seconds later, what happened, Jazz? I don't know if you had tuned in by then.
I think I might have missed it.
First takeaway. Now, 3 minutes to score, 14 seconds
later. The first
later,
takeaway, what was that?
First takeaway.
What was it?
2 minutes after that, this is where you may have come in. 2 minutes after the takeaway, we had another field goal.
That's where I came in.
9 minutes later on the clock, another touchdown. The Saints scored as many points in their first 23 minutes as they did in any of their first 4 games last season. By halftime, they had scored on all 6 of their first half possessions, and the only mystery that remained was the size of the margin of victory. When's the last time you heard that about the Saints?
Definitely since the Sean Payton era.
The last time they opened a season with a beatdown like this in the Superdome was 2009, when they routed Detroit 45-27. And, that 2009 team, that was a pretty good team, if you remember. We were okay that
And
year.
then I was going, you know what? I even think about, but we didn't score like that. Now, it was reminiscent of that defense that shut Tom Brady out a couple of years ago.
But if we keep doing stuff like this, look, we've already compared them to 2009 team, which means half the people are already starting to think Super Bowl. They do something else like the 2009 team, we will be selling Super Bowl T-shirts on Earhart Boulevard. Kamara looked like the 2018 Kamara. Would you say that?
Yes, he did.
83 yards rushing, 27 in the air. Now that's a
Uh-huh.
now that's a back. I don't-
Oh,
now that's a
what?
back.
Wait, what was that?
And that's a back.
What?
Averaging 5 yards, 5.4 yards a touch. Now that's
at-
what a back.
At
That's
what
a back
age?
does.
At what age?
It don't matter what age it is.
Oh,
I just want production.
it don't matter about age now.
Oh, it does. How old is he? How old is he?
What, 30 something?
I don't know. How old is he?
30 something.
Oh, yeah.
30
In
something.
5 games, he'll be falling off a cliff. Don't worry about it.
see. Yeah. This is Alvin Kamara that we're talking about here. Don't you
He'll
know?
be falling off a
This is a special type of guy. I'm just saying.
special. 29.
29.
Oh, yeah. He won't make
29.
By the time the season gets to double
But you
digits,
just said he
you won't
looked
even
like
you won't even see him. You won't
you
even know.
just you
You'll
just
be like,
said
is
he
still
looked
on
like
the
he was
team?
5 years younger.
I'm just saying, 2018. But that don't last. You can do it once. But when you're
Do
old,
you see
when
the
you're
ma-
old like
Do you
29,
do you see the way this man train? Do you see the training that this man does?
You
This
see
man,
the training I
this
do?
man be standing. You don't be standing on no whatchamacallit balls on one, hopping on one hand, catching tennis balls being thrown at you. You don't.
I can
doing
do
all
that.
No, you can't.
I can. I've done it
And you-
before.
You know what? You know what? I take that back. I'm sorry. I fully believe in you and your agilic abilities and your dreams.
and angelic abilities too, by the way.
All
case
in,
anybody's-
yeah, all,
But
all,
let's
all in your dreams.
okay. All right. So let's talk about. All right. I gave Kamara his due. I've been on him. I'm always gonna be on him. I'm gonna stay on him. I gave him his due. He won't make it to game 11. All right. How about Derek?
That's hard.
How,
That's hard, bro. That's hard, bro. That's hard.
How about Derek Carr? Okay, 19 of 23, 82.6 completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, and efficient.
Hats off to Derek Carr. Dude, couple of more games like this, I take you off the used car lot.
No.
A
What?
couple-
They won't have a couple. You won't have a couple.
That's what I said. A couple of more games like this, I will take him off of the used car lot.
Look, you can feel safe in leaving him right there in the front of the used car lot, right by
But
the
you know
street
what?
so
No,
everybody can
no.
see it.
But I will say this. I'll say this. I'll take him out of the lemon section.
Yeah, okay.
We could take him. Can we take him out of the lemon section? I mean, I know it's
we
only
could
been
use
one
him for
game.
parts, as far as I'm concerned.
Huh?
We could just scrap him for parts if you want.
Oh,
Alante
Alante
Taylor had 3 sacks in the game. I like it.
I like that. I really like that. And that, you know what, that's showing me that Dennis Allen is a lot more hands on this year with the defense than last year. There was a lot more blitzing going on yesterday.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Ooh,
He's old. And he's still balling.
the honey badger.
I thought he was done a couple of years.
Can I hear you call him the honey badger? Can I hear you call him the honey badger?
I will call him the honey badger because
He was
he
badgering.
recovered a key fumble.
He was badgering.
And that's
yesterday.
what a honey badger. That's how he got the name.
He was-
You don't just have the name because you out there. You have the name because you're making it go down. out
Yes,
there.
yes.
And he made stuff happen. So I will call him the honey badger.
Forced fumble and a recovery.
But the Panthers, ladies and gentlemen, Saints universe, they are awful. They were the worst team in the league a year ago, and nothing they did Sunday will make anyone believe this season it will be any different.
That's
A better gauge will come in Dallas next week when the Saints face the star-studded Cowboys and their newly enriched quarterback, Dak Prescott, who, by the way, people forget is a Louisiana boy, Louisiana kid.
We ain't worrying about no Dak. We
But
ain't worrying about no Dak. They coach is still who they coach is? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mike McCarthy?
Yeah.
You know
We-
what?
Yeah.
Look,
Ain't no love.
ain't no love.
Ain't no love for McCarthy.
Why you being like that with
'Cause
McCarthy?
ain't no love. Ain't no love. Then they used to be in Green Bay?
Yes.
Too? Yeah. Ain't no love. No, I ain't got no love for him. Treater.
Well, let me say this before we go. Okay, I know we're up against the first break, but I want to make sure I get this in. A couple of tidbits of information people might find interesting. Former NFL quarterback Joe Theismann, you know who that is? Young Jazz.
I have a slight idea.
Was an
who that
announcer
guy-
for a long time.
I think I know who that guy could be. It's something about. Yeah. I think I know who that.
He was
guy
with Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
He's 75, which makes me feel up there. Let's just leave it at that. In 1957, on this day, Althea Gibson became the first black tennis player to win the U.S. National Championships, which is now known as the U.S. Open. U.S. Open just had their championships over the weekend. Althea Gibson, first black woman to win the U.S. National Championship known as the U.S. Open. And also in 1957, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the first civil rights bill to pass Congress since Reconstruction, a measure primarily concerned with protecting voting rights. It also established a civil rights division in the U.S. Department of Justice. A lot of stuff going on today in our world. All right, so we're going to head to a break, first break of the first hour. I know everybody wants to call and talk about the Saints. Give me your opinions. 504-582-9422 is the number. 504-582-9422. Give us a call. Become part of the show. Educate me. Enlighten me. Inform me. Do what you have to do. Maybe I can get the win total back up to 7 if the right people talk and convince me.
I don't know what
6
this.
and 11.
I don't know what this dude talking about. How you get a win like that and his one total go down? Anyway, we about to head into the break. Don't forget we got high school sports that we got to talk about. We got some college sports that we're going to be talking about. And we got some nationwide stories that we're going to be bringing to y'all right after the break. So, Coach?
Break.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Delgado Community College offers programs in business, technology, health sciences, and the arts, with over 100 career-focused degrees and certificates that are affordable, flexible, and transferable. We can give you the knowledge and skills to succeed. Delgado is a great fit if you're starting your post-high school education, or we can help you advance or change your career. Take a step toward being unstoppable at Delgado Community College. Visit dcc.edu to learn more today.
Tune in Friday, September 13th at 8 a.m. to hear Liberty Bank and Trust discuss customized banking solutions. Power your dream and fuel community growth. Live this Friday, September 13th at 8 a.m. on the Good Morning Show on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Sunday mornings are reserved for a good word on WBOK. This Sunday, be sure to catch Dr. Kevin Stevens Sr., the pastor of Christian Unity Church, for service and a powerful, full, inspiring word. Listen live every Sunday morning right here on WBOK.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome. This is Garrett Sachere, pumped up after the Saints win. Looking forward to this 6-win season. This is Garrett Sachere. I am the host of the Sports Report. We are broadcasting on Xavier University's campus. And this is WBOK 1230 AM. The number to call is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. Big football weekend this past weekend. Friday, Saturday, well, really Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now Monday. Jazz, I want to ask you really quick. I'm about to talk some NFL in a little bit, so I'm going to give you a little chance to think about this. I'll come back to you for your answer. Who's going to win the game tonight? You don't have to give it to me right now. You can wait a little while, go through your scientific way of figuring out who's going to win between the Jets and the 49ers. You don't have to come on now. You can
that's easy.
You can hold your prediction.
That's easy.
Okay.
I mean, you want me to wait? You want? I mean, is this a dramatic pause situation?
Let's keep this, the wit listeners in suspense.
In suspense, okay.
You know what I mean? Let's build to it. Let's build to it. So just hold tight. When I get to the NFL, so we'll build to it. But on Friday night, obviously we had an NFL game in Brazil. Thursday night we had one in Kansas City. But Friday night we also have high school games. That is the backbone of every NFL player you see on Sunday and every NFL player, college player you see on Saturday, the backbone of everything, the building ground. I mean, it's park ball too. Park ball has a lot to do with it, but it's high school. So I'll run through a couple of scores from this past weekend, making sure that everyone that played and worked gets their name mentioned. And we'll do that every hour. We'll kind of run through the scores from last week. Break it up and talk a little bit. So here's a couple of scores. Unfortunately, Clark had him a tough one. Lost to Lafayette Renaissance. Chalmette beat John Ehret. Sophie B. Wright lost to Bonneville. Livingston Collegiate beat MLK Charter. Walter Cohen lost to Frederick Douglass. Central of Baton Rouge beat De La Salle. Sarah T. Reed beat Abramson in the Battle of the East. John Curtis Christian lost, a team out of Florida. Jesuit of New Orleans lost to Jesuit College Prep of Houston. Carver lost to Harrison Central of Mississippi. Pope John Paul II beat St. Patrick High of Mississippi. Young Audience Charter beat West St. John. Thomas Jefferson lost to Covenant Christian. Isidore Newman beat St. Charles Catholic. And the Willow School beat Ascension Christian. Can you tell me where the Willow School is, Jazz? We talked about this.
In the Willows.
Nice. But you're absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. In the same building is Forte High School. I knew that's what you was.
I think that's what I said last time.
Exactly. So just wanted to make sure that these young men get there, and women, if there's any young ladies playing that played in those games. And again, throughout the show, we'll recap other high school scoreboards. NFL. I'm going to jump to the NFL, and then we'll come back to college a little bit. But let's talk about yesterday's games a little bit. Buffalo versus Arizona. Your thoughts on that game?
You know what? I did not see too many games yesterday. I saw, and that was one of them that I did not see, but I wanted to. Can you tell me what happened?
Josh Allen is the man.
That's what I was saying. Remember, you asked me my picks, and Buffalo was definitely one of my picks, and it was because of Josh Allen.
Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns in the second half. They were down 14 to Arizona. Kyler Murray was playing well, but their defense really came up. And here's a name The defense preserved the Bills' win when DeMar Hamlin and Jamarcus Ingram broke up Kyler Murray's pass attempt. Isn't that something? Man is playing football and almost died right there on that field.
So
but you have to see, I'm surprised you haven't, and if people out there you haven't, just pull up the touchdown run and jump of Josh Allen. He literally, like, you're not Jordan, is like with the ball. That's how he tried to hop over, and he scored.
I'm gonna go look for it.
Look,
and I'm gonna play it.
Took off like he was going, and he was jumping over somebody. Wait, you gonna see it? He's gonna be stretching like this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Chicago versus Tennessee, Jazz. You know what that was yesterday?
What was that?
That was a reality check for young Caleb Williams. It was a reality. Now, they won.
I'm not a real Caleb Williams fan.
They won, okay? All right, Caleb Williams had less than 100 yards passing. He was 14 for 29, passer rating of 55.7. But they won because they blocked a punt and returned an interception. They blocked a punt for a touchdown and returned an interception for a touchdown. Otherwise, they would have lost. So he didn't have anything to do with it. And now he did have a touchdown drop by a receiver. But I think he is starting to, and will, just realize, oh, that's right, I am a rookie. And those preseason games were fantasy.
Yeah.
Because not only are those coordinators not using their best stuff, them big D linemen that can
cheap.
run you down, they didn't play in the preseason.
They didn't play at all.
They playing Nato.
You maybe saw them for 3 snaps.
They playing Nato
when
it counts. Houston beat Indianapolis.
I think that was one of my picks too.
One of your picks to what?
To win.
Which one?
Houston.
I think it was too. Stephon Diggs caught 2 touchdowns, and Joe Mixon ran for 159. Man, Houston is good. They're good, and they're young. But I'm going to tell you, those 2 quarterbacks, those 2 teams, they're going to be lighting up and giving people some great, great shows. Anthony Richardson for the Colts. And
yeah.
he threw like a 65-yard touchdown pass falling backwards.
Yeah, last week you asked me about it, and I made that selection very quick. And that's not because I don't have faith in the Colts. It's just that I had a little bit more faith in what the Texans showed me last year.
Well, both of those teams are coming. Both of those teams are coming. Miami versus Jacksonville. Now, there was some extracurricular activities before the game. We will get to that. Many of you have heard about it with Tyreek Hill. But, they also handcuffed one of their defensive linemen.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they let him go. I don't know. There'll be a lot to that. That's not going away anytime soon.
No.
But Miami beat Jacksonville. Minnesota beat the Giants. The Giants are awful. Minnesota, who's played with a quarterback that's on his 7th team, they killed the Giants. I'm not going to spend much time on it other than to say Giants are awful.
Did you ask me that one? I don't think that was one of the.
Here was a game from yesterday that in my house. So in my house we have Saints fans and then we have a Bengal fan.
What?
A Bengal fan. My youngest kid.
A single Bengal fan?
A single.
That's cool.
Bengal fan. And he started liking them before Burrow and Chase and all that. It's my youngest son. He's a contrarian, meaning he wants to go opposite everybody. So everybody loved the Saints.
He went with the opposite.
And they were saying, who's your team? He kept talking bad about the Saints. Everybody kept saying, well, who's your team? You can't talk about the Saints unless you got a team. So he picked the worst team in the NFL and said, I'm a Bengals fan. Now, a couple of years ago, he was riding high. But I knew the Bengals were losing because I could hear the yells and the moans and the groans coming. So the Bengals actually lost the game yesterday that nobody expected them to lose. They lost to the New England Patriots. That's a tough blow for them. It's an AFC loss. Of course, we know that the New Orleans Saints won 47-10. Here's another one. Jazz, that I'd like to hear what you and others have to say.
All right, hit me with it.
It's a little bit of an overreaction. In fact, it is an overreaction. But it was a surprise to me.
All right, hit me with it. What was it?
The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Atlanta Falcons 18-10.
That was a surprise to you?
I thought Cincinnati. I thought Atlanta.
You thought the Falcons were gonna.
I thought Atlanta would beat Pittsburgh because I thought Pittsburgh's quarterback situation was awful.
Here's my thing. That to me is a game. Like if I was a coach, I'd call it a trap game. Because that's one of them situations where, okay, the people who believe Atlanta's gonna win, believe Atlanta's gonna win because they have no faith in what Russell Wilson's gonna do, right? And the people that believes Pittsburgh is gonna win are the ones who have absolutely no belief in the Atlanta Falcons. So that's a trap game to me, as far as picking it or whatever.
Make it seem like Justin Fields did this and he should be the starter. He didn't play all that great. They won. He didn't play all that great. Who won the game for him was their kicker because he made 6 field goals. They won 18-10. He made 6 field goals. Okay? 3 of them were longer than 50. So, now, and I'm going to tell you why else they won. Because they got a bad man that plays outside linebacker for them named J.J. Watt. He is a closer. He's a closer like Mariano Rivera or anybody else. When they get the lead late and another team has to pass, Katie barred the door. My man does not play. They should probably give him the defensive MVP right now.
No, not right now.
He is faster to 100 sacks than everybody. The only person that's got to 100 sacks faster than him, Reggie White. He got it. He passed his brother. He passed Bruce Smith. This dude is a closer. The Steelers are going to win not a bunch of games, enough games to get in the playoffs off of defense and special teams, which is a good way to do it. The Chargers and the Vegas Raiders. I won't talk too much about it.
I know absolutely nothing about this game.
Other than the Chargers are going to start playing boring football and run the ball, which will be interesting, especially if they have a quarterback.
See, that is not boring to me.
Well, compared to what they have been doing with their quarterback and receivers. Seattle beat Denver 26-20. Sean Payton 0-1.
I still don't know how I feel about that.
About Sean Payton or Sean Payton being 0-1?
About Sean Payton being a Denver Broncos coach.
Well,
I was for it at first, but I don't know if I'm for it. No.
You ain't okay. All right, here's the next score I want to throw at you, Jazz. You can turn up the volume if you want loud in the control room. The Dallas Cowboys 33, Cleveland Browns 17.
What did you expect?
When you say what I expect, did I expect you to not comment on what I said about Dallas, or what did I expect from the game? Did I expect you not to comment or ignore what I said? Yes.
Okay, well,
did I expect Dallas to beat Cleveland 33-17? No.
Oh, okay.
Did you?
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I apologize for picking the Cleveland Browns out of sheer hatred towards the Dallas Cowboys, but hey, guess what? It's gonna happen for the rest of the year.
Tampa Bay, who I think is going to win the NFC South. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Washington Commanders. Got to say that slow so I don't say Redskins. 37-20.
So you're telling me that you think Baker Mayfield is the answer for the NFC South?
No, I'm just saying the Buccaneers will win the NFC South. And Baker Mayfield obviously will have to play well to do it. But I just think they're going to have the best team.
So, I mean, I think the NFC South is going to be won by the best quarterback.
Okay.
So you saying that Baker Mayfield is, at this point in your mind, the best quarterback in the NFC South?
No, you saying that's how you're making a decision
Yeah.
who's going to win the NFC South. I'm not making a decision that way in the NFC South. Our boy Jaden Daniels obviously was the other quarterback in that game against Baker Mayfield. He was really more effective running the ball than passing and scored a pair of rushing touchdowns. He finished with 88 yards rushing on 16 attempts. So he had 88 yards rushing. And went 17 for 24 for 184 yards passing, but no interceptions. He got sacked twice. So, kind of
Not
mixed
bad.
bag. Mixed bag for the young guys.
Not bad.
Did you the Rams played Detroit last night, and that was, now let me just say this to you. I don't know if you watched it, but that easily could be a preview of the NFC Championship game, and it was a very well played game. Went to overtime.
I hate
and
the
the
Rams.
Rams were playing with not one, but two backup offensive tackles.
I hate the Rams.
Me too. But they can find two backup offensive tackles to beat a team who's in the NFC Championship.
And we
can't
have
find
one.
Thank you. Just what I was getting to. And then tonight, Jazz, now that the people have waited, now that everyone has been sitting in their car, not going into the store, not going into the home,
Everybody's situated.
waiting to hear your choice, your prediction for tonight's mega game of the Jets in San Francisco and Jazz, so the people can go put their mortgage down in the bet. Who do you have winning tonight?
You cannot go against the wily veteran, Aaron Rodgers,
Oh.
and the New York Jets.
Oh.
Not to mention the fact that I just have pure disdain for the San Francisco 49ers.
I would say you should seek therapy for how you feel about the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Rams, but I don't think you
It's
should.
not-
I
it's
think
not-
you should. I think you should keep that hate inside.
It's-
Keep it.
It's not so much the Rams as much, but it is the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, the
I
49ers,
can't help it.
the 49ers I can't help it. The 49ers, look, I don't have any love. Look, those three teams, I don't know if I've ever rooted for any of them, and I think I have when they've probably had to play each other. So
I have never rooted for the 49ers. I damn sure ain't never root for the Cowboys. I have rooted for the Rams.
Whoa.
I have rooted for the Rams in the past.
Oh.
In the past, but I'm talking about like the Marshall Falk days.
Oh. Okay. Marshall Falk days. Okay, you get a pass on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's enough far enough back that you should get a little bit of a pass on that. I'm with you. Well, college football was Saturday, and I'll start with the Southern University Jaguars. Had a 42-10 win over Savannah State. Glad for them to get right back in their winning ways up there at Southern. Grambling beat Tuskegee 37-20. And in other HBCU scores, we had Alabama A&M beat Kentucky State. Alabama State beat Miles. Miami beat FAMU. Jackson State beat Lane. Hampton beat Virginia Union. North Carolina A&T beat Winston-Salem. You know, the thing about it is, and it's week to week in college, it's hard to gauge. But one of the things you can gauge really is the improvement from week 1 to week 2. And really sometimes that improvement happens, but yet you may have lost. So again, like Lamar beat Mississippi Valley State 28-14. Arkansas Pine Bluff, they killed Arkansas Baptist, but like a team like Mississippi Valley State could be getting better, but happened to lose to Lamar. Texas Southern, I thought actually that they were going to beat Rice. They lost 69-7. So glad I didn't put the old mortgage on that one, Jazz. Glad I kept grandma's mortgage payment, rent payment, and didn't put it down. Tulane lost.
Wise man.
Tulane lost a tough one to Kansas State. They had them. And then they didn't.
So what that makes Tulane what, 0-2?
No, 1-1.
1-1? Oh, they won last week.
Yeah. They had them. They had them until the very end. And then I watched the whole game, scoop and score, and it was a good game. They just – it was a tough one, man. It was a tough one. I tell you, the one that was interesting too, another one was the LSU win over Nicholls State. Now, on the surface, everybody just assumes, and I used to coach at Nicholls State, that LSU would run over Nicholls State, and they should. But that first half, now, they had a lot of people not necessarily nervous that they were going to lose, but they would have liked their team to look better. You know what I mean? They would like for their team to look better. So there was some good in the LSU game. First of all, Garrett Nussmeier was fantastic. You know, he had 302 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, 6 touchdowns, no matter who you play. Only Joe Burrow and Jay Daniels have achieved that. Kyron Lacey, who was a receiver, recorded 5 catches for 65 yards. Sophomore Xavier Thomas had 170 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns, displaying his explosiveness in a passing game, and as a return specialist. And that's where you're going to see a lot of games won, college and pro and high schools, in the special teams early on. But this kid, Xavier Thomas, caught 5 passes for 50 yards and added 120 total return yards, including a 51-yard kick return. The bad is Nicholls had no trouble running the ball against LSU's defense. Excluding a bad snap that resulted in a safety, the Colonels rushed for 178 yards.
Whoa, 178 yards? Oh, LSU. That is not looking good if y'all let Nicholls State pound the ball on y'all like that. That means that the offensive line for Nicholls State out-muscled y'all big guys. That's the only way somebody runs for 178 yards, unless there were 2 or 3 just humongous scrambles. No, these were all like
so
from scrimmage rushing
178 yards rushing. One guy, Colin Guggenheim, had 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, and one of his touchdowns was on a 67-yard run.
Uh-oh.
Up the middle.
Y'all know how I was about the Saints and run defense and people being able to pound the ball. But this is a huge red flag. I guarantee you that all week long, those front 4 or 3 or whatever they was running, they are going to have a rough week at practice. And by right, they should.
Well, just think if that was the bad, Here's the ugly. All right, they lost the defensive tackle for the year on the fourth play of the game.
Oh, okay. No. Now that explains a lot.
Well, no, they should no.
No,
But
that
my point
explains
to you is that then he's out right there. He's got torn Achilles tendon, and so he's not coming back. That's the
Yeah,
ugly.
that's the bad part.
And he was their best defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then another major concern that became clear during the game was LSU's inability to run the ball effectively. The Tigers, Jazz, rushed 21 times for 64 yards.
Oh, what is going on? Y'all paid money for this?
Averaged 3 yards per carry.
Yeah, y'all. Uh-oh.
Sophomore running back Caleb Jackson led the team with 19 rushing yards on 9 carries. That's a 2.1 yard per carry average. They've only averaged in 2 games 88.5 yards rushing, which is 116th nationally, Jazz. That is a tremendous red flag.
Huge red flag. Not only can y'all not stop Nickel State from running the ball on y'all, neither can y'all run the ball on Nickel State. Oh, my goodness.
While some may blame the running backs, the blame should fall on the offensive line. Predicted to be one of the nation's best units before the season, the run blocking effort to date has been severely lacking. USC and Nickel's defensive fronts have held up, and then some against LSU at the line of scrimmage. Despite all the hype surrounding LSU's offensive line, it hasn't lived up to expectations, with 2 projected first-round offensive tackles in Will Campbell and Emory Jones. Was the hype deserved, or did Jaden Daniels play the last 2 seasons mask the offensive line's weaknesses? LSU must fix its running game and its ability to stop the run soon as SEC play begins this weekend at South Carolina.
I think Jaden Daniels' play absolutely masked was LSU's line play last year. I absolutely believe so. There's one of 2 things, right? When you're known as a elusive, athletic quarterback, it's one of 2 things. It's either you was running for your life, or you just have an IQ that when you see things, you can take off running and be effective. I think it was a little bit of both, more the first. More of the first, where Jaden Daniels just was under a little bit more pressure than he would have liked to be.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. He like I've told you before, and a lot of other things. Drew Brees did the same thing for the Saints and Sean Payton. He masked, he fixed a lot of things. So we're gonna be heading to the break. Got the second hour coming up. We're gonna go around the league and talk about Tyreek Hill, Jordan Love, and Dak. And get into the Saints and the passing game, the run game, offense, defense, everything Saints. But we're going to finish up this hour when we come back right after the break. Got a heck of a show planned for you guys. Come on back. The number is 504-582-9422 to join the conversation. 504-582-9422. My name's Garrett Sachre, and this is the Sports Report.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top.
Hey.
with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Discover the Leah Chase School, NOLA Public School's first new direct-run traditional public school in nearly 2 decades. We offer excellence in math, science, English, and social studies, focusing on unlocking every child's potential. Every scholar receives a personal device, regular assessments, clear family communication, as well as transportation services in a nurturing, arts-inclusive environment. Secure your child's K through 5th grade slot today. Apply at enrollnolaps.com and embark upon a unique educational journey.
New Orleans Burlesque is back. The Red Light District, located on the 2nd floor of your New Orleans headquarters by Nice Guys, presents a captivating, international, award-winning burlesque experience that will leave you breathless. Indulge in the sounds of our Grammy Award-winning quartet and exceptional food pairings each and every Saturday. To purchase tickets, visit Eventbrite.com, and remember, what happens in the Red Light District stays in the Red Light District.
Hey folks, it's Dr. Shepherd. You know me, I've got something special for you. Write this number down, 504-858-4696. That number is for you if you're having hair loss issues, no matter what the issue may be. It's for an all-natural ingredient formula derived by my mom, a pharmacist, in 1971. And trust me, it works. Give us a try. You can get your hands on it right now. Call 504-858-4696.
The Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back. I'm Garrett Sachre. This is the Sports Report. 504-582-9422 is the number to join the conversation. Got Chuck on the line. Chuck about to come to you. Just want to hit some more scores here from the state college scores. Louisiana Lafayette beat Kennesaw State Saturday. Louisiana Monroe in a big win for them, an upset, beat UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham. Some HBCU scores. Mercer beat Bethune-Cookman. Norfolk State beat Virginia State. And I told you before, Vanderbilt beat Alcorn. So we will talk more about Southern and get more into the local colleges, and not only today but throughout the week. We talked a little bit about LSU's, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the LSU win. But Chuck, I want to hear now what you've talked about, not what we've talked about, what you want to talk about. Chuck, you're in the Sports Report.
Yes, good evening to you all. I hope your weekend went well. I was calling them. My parents and I were in attendance at the Grambling-Tuskegee game. My parents went to school at Grambling, what happened. I look at it. Grambling I was looking at them. They're I see success around the corner for them. I was looking at how they were moving the ball, and there was a lot of passing going on. And I look at a school like Tuskegee. Tuskegee is not a slouch. The SIAC NCAA Division II school. They've had their own successes as well. And let me tell you this: that game brought a lot of education as well. It's a historical game as well, because if there wasn't that would not have been Grambling if it wasn't for Tuskegee, because the founder of Grambling, Charles P. Adams, was a graduate of Tuskegee.
Yep.
And Booker T. Washington sent him to form that school in 1901 up here in Northeast Louisiana. And if it wasn't for, that's why I tell people, I said, if it wasn't for that, there would not have been that game, nor a Bayou Classic. And I just think about all that, and think about what Grambling has become. It's one of the youngest schools, and I look at Tuskegee has its own history as well, football legacy going back to Cleveland Abbott. He was from Yankton, South Dakota. He was a graduate of South Dakota State. and he was a legendary coach. He had championships back in the 20s. And the last time that Grambling and Tuskegee played each other was back in 1949. That was the last time they played each other. Grambling won. Coach Eddie Robinson was a young coach for that back during that time. And it's all that kind of history. And also, legendary band director Conrad Hutchinson was a graduate of Tuskegee. Him and his longtime assistant William Wiley. It just brought it's all that just came in, and it shows you a lot of history. Think about the Commodores went to that school, George Washington Carver, and others. Yeah.
Chuck, can you hold on? We're going to go to a break.
Sure.
Can you hold on for us?
Sure. Yeah, I can hold on. Yeah.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, we're going to be heading to a break. This is the Sports Report. The number is 504-582-9422. I'm the coach, Garrett Sachere, and we'll see you right after this break.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK 1230 AM, Go, and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Sacramento County, California families near or below the poverty level can apply for a chance to receive $725 a month for a year. The program aims to keep families together and will focus on Black, Native American, and Alaska Native children. The support aims to help reduce their high number of interactions with the child welfare system. The high numbers are connected to the historical and ongoing mistreatment of these groups. The Department of Child, Family, and Adult Services will select 200 households to receive the funding. Families can begin applying on September 30th. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams' administration is highlighting the work done to combat flooding 3 years after Hurricane Ida. Remnants of the storm dumped historic rain on New York City, killing 13 New Yorkers, with most trapped in flooded basement apartments. Since then, officials say there's been sewer and drainage upgrades and green infrastructure to absorb floodwaters. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
WBOK 1230 AM, online at WBOK1230.com. The Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
All right. Glad you could join us. Glad that you're back. I'm Garrett Sachere. This is the Sports Report. As the man says, we're coming back. We got Jazz with us. I need Jazz. Jazz takes care of everything. He's my man. The number to call is 504-582-9422. We were talking with Chuck before the break. Chuck, you still there?
Oh, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I can, Chuck. Go ahead and finish what you were saying. Sorry, I had to cut you off.
Oh, no problem. I understand you have to. These are things you have to do when you have a radio station. No problem at all. Yeah, I was just finishing up with just some of the historical aspect, the educational aspect of that Graham and Tuskegee game. And you start thinking about things such as George Washington Carver's research. The reason why you start eating your peanut butter, anything peanut butter, and your sweet potatoes and all that. You just start thinking about him and his research with the peanuts and sweet potatoes, finding uses of it. And Tuskegee has that kind of history. And like I said, if you start, listen to that music, you want to listen to music, start thinking about the Commodores. Lionel Richie, and they started right there at Tuskegee.
Yep.
And think about the fly jock, Tom Joyner, who went to school with these guys at Tuskegee. It's just all that comes about. And like I said, they have a football legacy too as well. Like I said, going back to Cleve Abbott. And that legacy was going on for years and went on through years. They have one of the winningest HBCU football programs in the country. They're on that list, and they said Cleve Abbott, and they just go and think about Rick Comegee. They had some great coaches called Willie Slater, and the coach that's there now, Aaron James, played under Rick Comegee when they had the undefeated team back in 2000, and I see some successes with them, and like I said, with Grambling, what Coach Joseph is putting together, he has a lot of guys there in the transfer. They got some in the transfer portal, a guy from McNeese, Mississippi State, Jackson State, And I was looking at and that defense is stingy. They have a stingy defense. Jason Rollins has a defense as well. Coach Rollins done a great. I remember him back when he was at McNeese. I went to McNeese for a little while back in the '90s. That's how I got to know all those guys.
Yeah, I know Jason and Mickey and.
Oh yeah.
And they do, they. I hope they get that thing turned around. But Chuck, I appreciate it. And I know you're a man that can talk a lot of different football and HBCU football, and Howard won. They beat Mercyhurst over the weekend, and Towson unfortunately beat Morgan State. And we're gonna always try to, spotlight and highlight those HBCU. And you're exactly right about what you said about Tuskegee and Grambling and Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver. I think that gets forgotten about way, way too much. Chuck, thank you, my friend.
All right, thank you all, and also remember what happened. It's not HBCU. Northern Illinois upset Notre Dame.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
land
sir.
on that one.
Yes, sir. They did. Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna land on that one. Okay. All right.
You're gonna leave us with that one, huh?
Yes, I'm gonna let you all discuss it from there.
Yeah. Well, people might not be want to hear what I got to say. About that.
Hey, you're a realist.
All right, Chuck. Thank you.
All right. Bye. You all take care. Be safe.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, that was Chuck. Before we go any further, I want to take the time to announce something, to the listeners here. On September 14th, this Saturday, there'll be voter registration going on at Tulane Memorial Baptist Church, 3601 Paris Avenue, from 11 to 2. Anyone who will be 18 years old by November 5th can register. Please bring a valid Louisiana state ID or driver's license. New registration and or changes to voter information will also be available at this time. If you're not a registered voter, please vote. Please register. It takes 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then when you vote that day, it's going to take 2 minutes for you to walk in and pull that lever. But there'll be the most important 4 minutes, maybe, of your life. So this Saturday, 11 to 2, Tulane Memorial Baptist Church, 3601 Paris Avenue in Chile, Gentile. Ladies and gentlemen, Chile, Gentile. All right. Chuck has always got, look, Chuck can talk about a lot of things, and I love that about him. And I love that about all of our callers. There are a lot of things that gentlemen and ladies can talk about. And that's good. That's good. It makes my job easier, and it makes me fun for me to come in. All right. The Saints yesterday had a wonderful game. We've been talking about it. Some of us are more excited about the Saints after yesterday than others. But I think for some of you, for whatever reason, if you missed it or you stepped out of the room or you woke up late, or you were coming back from church or whatever. And so we're going to recap some of the highlights from yesterday's game to get everybody back in that feeling good mood.
Your screen. They need 4. In the pocket. Carr going deep. Rasheed, he's got him. Shaheed, he's into the end zone. And that's a Saints touchdown.
On the outside, he's going to get this post route coming up over the top. They're going to fly with 83 inside. That's Johnson. They fly and double team him, and that's a mistake because you cannot let him get over the top.
And Young is throwing on first down. To the ground, ruled an interception by Will Harris, who spins inside the 40-yard line. It looked like an overthrow.
On this Carolina team that just got here after the initial cuts.
Came over from Seattle. Blake Grupe from 57 yards away. He nails it. That was long distance.
I mean, he's a big, thick, strong dude, so he's got that fluidity with that power, rare mixture.
You change from him to Taysom Hill, who slips a tackle and powers his way across the 46-yard line, and a first down, New Orleans. And a fresh set of downs as Kamara's back in, who is a top-flight receiver as well. Carr will float, and catch made at the 36 by Chris Olave. For the backs, Carr rolling.
Watch Landon sneaking out.
He throws. Touchdown! Held on to by Foster Moreau.
And just buying time. Derek Carr sitting, waiting, and then just throwing it up to his tight end. Perfectly done. So he's a guy that has a lot of respect. And remember, not a lot of complimentary football last year, but they still were a top defense in the league.
Blake Grupe from 44 yards away. The pitch. Jonathan Mingo from his receiver spot. The ball's out, and there's a scramble for it. And, wow, Saints had a clear shot. Then it looked like a Panther had it. And New Orleans has come away with the football.
But I am not putting this ball in harm's way, and that's great ball placement by a quarterback who sees the defense.
It's Grupe again, this time from 52 yards away. They saw something preparing for this game. Inside the 40 of New Orleans is Shaheed. He's trying to turn the corner, and he does. Showing off that speed, Shaheed. Inside the 20. And there are no flags. It was a deep kick.
We've seen it both, the electric nature and the route running.
Shaheed is now in the backfield. Carr throws. End zone, feet down. Did he hold on? Touchdown, Saints. Jawan Johnson.
Catch, nice throw. Look at the execution here, the concentration, high point the ball, and make sure you understand where you are on the football field. Johnson does a beautiful job.
Of 9+ quarters. Pinheiro on the way from 43, and the Panthers are on the board as we hit halftime. Young on the move and overthrown again. Jordan Howden hangs on for the interception. I mean, as much as Kamara has carried it down here, they give it to him, and he stands up into the end zone for a Saints touchdown. On 4th down, Young. Can he get to the end zone? Yes, ball came out. He may have crossed the plane. Let's see if they're ruling it a touchdown or not. Unbelievable if that is a lost fumble. He broke the plane. It's a touchdown for Bryce Young.
Yeah, gets it right there. The ball is clearly over the plane of the goal line before Paulson Adebo knocks it out. So
here's another guy who's having a big day. 39-yarder. He's already hit his career best from 57. Blake Grupe. And he is batting 1,000 here. 1st down from just inside the 15 of Carolina. Jamal Williams the back. The pitch. And Williams to the end zone, and that's a Saints touchdown. And where they ranked in offense and defense, how they missed the playoffs, but you lose in tiebreakers as the Panthers are punting it away. Cedric Wilson with a chance to return, and he has trouble with that. And let's see if the Panthers are on it at the 45-yard line of the Saints.
We've been here together. I think 8th year.
And they keep the current streak rolling.
Well, there it is. So many highlights, so many scores. That would be wonderful if that could happen every week. But the
Don't
Saints,
hold your breath, though. Don't hold your breath.
The Saints, in the first quarter, just jumped all over Carolina. First off with a 59-yard pass from Carr to Shaheed, with 12 minutes left on the clock. It was in the game 2-3 minutes. And then they had with 10 minutes on the clock, we got a field goal from Grupe. And then your boy, Still in the first quarter with a minute left in the first quarter, minute 23. Morrow, 3-yard pass from Carr.
How Morrow get to be my boy?
Well, because you don't like him.
It's not that I don't like him.
All right. Well, I shouldn't say that you don't like him. You don't think he's a good player. So
I don't think he's the greatest player.
So scored 17 points in the first quarter. Then we turn around. They scored none, obviously. Then we turn around and score 13 in the second with a 44-yard groupie field goal. Then a 52-yard groupie field goal. And then a 16-yard pass from Carr to Juwan Johnson.
That I think. If I had to pick the most impressive play of the game, I think that's my choice. On top, ahead of the pass to Rashid, I would go with the Juwan Johnson pass because he had the toe touch. It had to be a good pass. It had to be placed somewhere where the defender couldn't get to it, and he had to hold on to it. Forget the fact that it was only 16 yards. I think that was the most impressive play.
Gotcha. A 16-yard play can be easily the most impressive play of a game. In the third quarter, Kamara, 1-yard run. And that was our only score of the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, we scored 10 points when Groupie had a 39-yard field goal. And then Williams had a 14-yard run. So our third down efficiency numbers, we were 7 for 13, which is about 50%. Not great, but a little over 50%. Our total yards was 379. Carolina had 193. Our rushing totals was 180 yards rushing to 58 for Carolina. And our passing was 199 yards to 135 for Carolina. We sacked them 4 times. They sacked us once. So, complete domination. Complete domination.
What would you say was the most impressive play of the game in your eyes? Now, this doesn't just have to be offense. This could also be defense.
That's why I'm kind of.
You could kind of lean in towards the defensive.
I'm kind of trying to do a little bit off the beaten path. I don't know. What about you?
Well, like I said, I think it was the Juwan Johnson.
Juwan Johnson, right.
I think it was that. But after that, I think it's hard for me to say a defensive play, a single defensive play. Yeah, it's hard for me to say a single defensive play. I guess if I would have to pick an offensive play and a defensive play, that would make it a little bit easier. I think the defensive play, the most impressive defensive play, I want to say is one of the interceptions. No, it was the honey badge. The honey badge. The strip, the punch out, and the fumble.
You've forgotten about that.
And the fumble recovery. Shouts out to the honey badger.
So we all know that the Saints are playing the Dallas Cowboys this upcoming week.
You refuse to say them people name right.
Who?
The Cowgirls.
Hey. So in the NFL, one of the things you do is you play your division twice, but you also play other divisions. You play an AFC division and you play an NFC division. Okay? The AFC division that we are playing this year is the NFC East. When I say we, I'm talking about our division. So we're playing the Dallas Cowboys. And Atlanta next week is playing Philadelphia, Jazz. That'll be an interesting game, period, but obviously interesting in the division. Tampa Bay, they have a tough one.
Who they have?
They're playing Detroit next week.
Okay, so you know what? I fully expect the NFC South next week to be led by the New Orleans Saints. Because I definitely.
And then the Chargers are playing Carolina, if that makes any difference.
Yeah. So watch this. We know what Carolina has. It seems like it's absolutely nothing. So I'm not planning on them winning next week or the next week after that. Seems like it's going to take a couple of weeks for them to get it rolling, because I refuse to believe that they are as bad as I saw yesterday. I refuse to believe
Carolina,
that
they're worse.
You think? You think they're that bad? You really think that they're that bad? I really think that they're that bad because there was only, and I know everyone's gonna be like, oh, there he go, especially Roe Brown. But I really think that they were that bad because there was only 3 preseason games.
Well, Saints had 3 preseason games?
Yes. This is also true.
I don't know. Well, we're going to be heading to a break, but after the break, we'll get back and talk about the rest of the league. We'll get into Tyreek Hill, Jordan Love, Dak's contract. I'm waiting for somebody to call about this Deshaun Watson debacle going on in Cleveland, which will be interesting because in 2 situations going on right now in the league, Carolina with Bryce Young and Cleveland with Deshaun Watson, those are 2 instances where the head coach did not want the particular quarterback, and the owners stepped in and said, we're doing this. The owner at Carolina said, we're drafting Bryce Young because they wanted to draft C.J. Stroud. He wanted the Heisman Trophy winners. We're going to do. And then Cleveland, they weren't going to get Deshaun Watson. He didn't want to go to Cleveland when all the sweepstakes were going on. And then their owner was like, we're going to give it to him guaranteed. But both of you owners, y'all done messed up bad. This is the Sports Report. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422 is the number. Terry, I know you're on hold. We're going to come back to you right after the break. This is the Sports Report. I'm Coach Garrett Sachary. See you in a second.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do. Every Monday is Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
Boost your savings with a CD from Home Bank. For a limited time, Home Bank is offering 5.05% annual percentage yield on a 5-month CD. If you want a longer term, take advantage of the 4.50% APY on a 9-month CD. The minimum balance for this special is just $2,500. So speak with a banker at any Home Bank location today. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to school, families and scholars. NOLA Public Schools is excited to kick off another exciting year of learning, growth, and success. Our dedicated teachers have been preparing all summer to provide an engaging and enriching experience for every student. Let's embrace new challenges, celebrate achievements, and make this school year the best one yet. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS by visiting our social media channels. Here's to a year filled with curiosity, creativity, and community. Attend today, achieve tomorrow.
Calling all college students. The National African American Insurance Association presents their free 2024 Career Fair and Expo September 17th and 18th. To register, go to NAAIA.national on Instagram and use the link in the bio.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor. We're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. The Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
Okay. Thank you. being a part of this show. Thank you for listening. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. This is the Sports Report, and you make the show out there. I am Garrett Sashray. I'm hosting it, and Jazz is producing it. But you folks out there make it. And we're glad that you're back. Glad we're back after a great football weekend. Was not a great football weekend in every circle of the NFL and college ball. Tyreek Hill did not have a great day yesterday. Calais Campbell did not necessarily have a great day yesterday. Now, Dak Prescott did. You know, he got that bag yesterday, right? But for others, there weren't. We got Terry on the line. Terry, glad you're joining the Sports Report. Terry, talk to me, my friend.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you waiting. Talk to us.
Okay,
Tell me and educate me in Jazz.
Okay, two things I want to touch upon. The player of the game for the Saints. I think it was, especially Alontae. Well, I can't pronounce his name right. Alontae Taylor, not Tyreek, not Tyrann Matthew. I'm talking about Alontae Taylor, number one.
Yeah.
With those 3 sacks. Those 3 sacks was huge.
Okay, that's a good choice for player of the game.
Yeah, and talk about the Tyreek Hill thing. Man, we go through this. We go through this every year, and when what his name Kaepernick was talking about it. We want to live the American invisible dream, like racism doesn't exist. I mean, when the last time you saw a white guy being thrown to the ground? Somebody putting their knee on in the back of a white guy. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw that.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
And this is the thing, and I ain't gonna hold you, but
no, you're not holding me. You online waiting. You talk. Whatever you want to talk about. Don't feel you're holding me up.
Tyreek Hill said it after the game. He said it best. He said, "What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill?
Yep.
What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill?" See, everybody cheers for these players, on the field, but these guys live normal lives like all the rest of us. For him to be handled like that outside of a stadium, man, I think that's a travesty. I think there's going to be a lot of heads rolled in the Miami-Dade Police Department. I mean, they got to be accountable for that, man. That's bad.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think there's going to be heads rolling. I think there's going to be this thing isn't over. This thing isn't over at all.
You know why I say that, man? Because, we talking about a nationally televised game all over the world, man. And this is one of the star players.
Yeah.
He wasn't just an average player on the team. This guy is a superstar.
Well, here's the other thing, too. He's at his home stadium. I'm not saying it should happen, but this is way before the game. He's got a sports car. You're only going to have a bunch of money. For now, Miami is probably a little bit more regular than everywhere else. But I'm sure everybody knows what Tyreek Hill looks like in Miami, and he's trying to go to the game 4 hours before the game. And then one of his teammates, Calais Campbell, came by, and they handcuffed him. And we're going to have all that later on in the show here pretty soon. But the Tyreek Hill thing, I think, it's going to blow up more before it starts to calm down.
Yeah, and the reason I keep saying that, man, because, the NFL has got to investigate the police department. I mean, who was, watching over the stadium when these players, I think by now they should know what kind of vehicle Tyreek Hill drives.
That's what I'm saying.
He's been playing for 2 years, 2-3 years he's been playing for?
2 years. That's what I'm saying. It's not that it would be a valid situation if you were at the away team stadium, but I'm just saying this is your home stadium. This is your home stadium.
Then you arrest Campbell. Why? Because he inquired to ask what was going on.
Yeah, they cuffed him and then they cuffed him and uncuffed him, he said. They cuffed him and then they uncuffed him and let him go. So I don't know. there's a lot that's going to come out. There's a lot that's going to have to come out. But Terry, that's exactly, you did a great job for me. You're leading us in. You're leading the show into the part where we're going to have some news stories. It was on CNN about Tyreek Hill, and then we're going to come back and have some stuff about what happened with Calais Campbell, both in the same incident. So, Terry, I appreciate the lead-in. You're gonna.
All right, I love the show, man. I love the show.
Well, look, I love that you called. You call anytime. Talk about anything you want to, Terry, okay?
All right, man. Have a good one.
Thanks for holding. Terry. All right, so we got Tyreek Hill. CNN is all over this Tyreek Hill thing. This is not just a sports story. This is a national news story.
Don't know much. I think what is absolutely clear, Fred, is that the biggest headline on the first full day of the new NFL season might well have been made face down on the pavement outside the stadium in Miami. These images are quite extraordinary when you consider the stature of Tyreek Hill and how he's regarded within the NFL and certainly within Miami. We understand from his agent that he was involved in a police stop. And let's just hear from the agent, Drew Rosenhaus, about what actually happened.
Apparently got a ticket for movement violation entering the stadium. How things escalated into the situation that they were in handcuffs and being held on the ground with police is mind-boggling to me. I'm deeply concerned by that, very troubled. We will be looking into it. We will be investigating this. We will look out for Tyreek.
So Rosenhaus, the agent, Fred, saying that his client was rattled, physically okay, but mentally distraught. And he really wanted to focus on the game, which Hill is currently playing in against Jacksonville right now. He's made caught three passes in the game so far. But clearly this story is just exploding. Within the last few minutes, Miami-Dade Police Department have released a statement. This is what they have to say. We are aware of the recent detainment of Miami Dolphins player Tyreek Hill by Miami-Dade Police Department officers. This is the director of the agency speaking. I have requested an immediate review of all details surrounding the incident, and we are also reviewing available body camera footage. We will provide updates as further information becomes available. They might, in the addition of body camera footage, might want to look at some of the passerby video footage, which we have already shown you one clip. I've seen another clip, which we haven't yet cleared for broadcast, which appears to show a police officer kicking Tyreek Hill.
While he's on the ground.
He was not on the ground at that point, but he appeared to be in handcuffs. This is a man who won the Super Bowl a few years ago with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was just beginning his third season with the Miami Dolphins. Last season, statistically, he was the top receiver in the league, so an absolute megastar within the NFL. And this is a story we're going to be hearing a lot more about in the coming hours and days.
All right. Well, I think the last thing he said is something that there's no true words being said, and that is you're going to hear a lot more about this in the coming days. There's no doubt about that, and in weeks, really. This is going to be something that it's not a good look for the police department of Miami-Dade County. It's not a good look for, unfortunately, any police department. I just don't know how you get to this, right? I just don't know how you get to this. And but they're going to have to get to the bottom of it. Somebody's going to have to get to the bottom of it. And I don't know. It's just, I want to say it's unfortunate. It's more than just unfortunate. It's just not right, right? Just not right. Just not right. All right. The second part of the incident involved one of his teammates seeing what happened and pulling over to find out, hey, is everything all right? You know how you do if a friend of yours is in an accident, or if you see that car got pulled over, you go and check on him. So here's Calais Campbell talking about what happened once he pulled over.
Number one, when you say that they were being, using excessive force, I'd like you to be specific with our audience exactly what you saw that makes you say that, number one. And number two, when you got out the car, to address the officer in the situation. What did you say, and how did you identify yourself to the officers before he put you in handcuffs?
Yeah, so I mean, they were trying to yank him down to the ground, and so like I saw him, kick him and pull him down, I mean, pulling the cuffs, shoulders looked like they're messing up. They kind of got him down. I felt like the one officer was pushing on his head, and just was like completely unnecessary. And so, I got out, I had my hands up like this, approaching, and I'm just telling him like, hey, I'm a friend of his. I don't know what's going on here, but I think the situation is definitely unnecessary. And they told me immediately to back up. And then the officer who was elevated came to me. He was telling me I had to leave. I stood there for about 5 more minutes. And told him I'll stand where you want me to stand. Wherever you tell me how far I back up, I'll back up. But I'm not leaving the scene. This is my friend here. I'm here to support him. I'm not leaving. And he said, well, if you don't leave, I'm gonna tow your car. I said, you can tow my car. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm not leaving. And then a little bit back and forth of you're blocking traffic. And I think I responded to him like, you can tow my car. I don't feel like I'm blocking traffic. And he's like, that's it. You're under arrest. Puts me in handcuffs. And Tyreek's there. Obviously feeling distressed. And Jonnu Smith was there as well on the other side in front of him. And I was behind him. And he's like telling Jonnu, don't leave me, man, don't leave me. And he's talking to me, and it's just like I mean, he's in an extreme situation that I don't think he should have been in. It was completely unnecessary. And so, like, we're here for you. We got your back. If they take us to jail, they take us to jail, but we're going to do this together.
Oh, did you tell, hold on, Shay, did you tell them that you both were members of the Miami Dolphins? Just throwing that out there, just asking.
I did not mention that, but I think it was obvious by the time I was in the situation.
All right. Well, there's Calais Campbell. And, it's just an unfortunate situation. It's a really, really unfortunate situation. I don't know what else to say. We got a caller on the line. I'm sure he's going to have some comments to say about it. Let's see what he has to say. You're on the Sports Report.
Hey, Coach. Hey, man. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, I know we're just going to talk about things, but when you talk about this, I got to speak on this. So here's the thing. What should happen is them cops that was involved in that incident should be turning their badges right down, because they don't really have a lawful out here. You sitting up there pulling them over because you want to see they were obstructing traffic. I mean, really, all you had to do was make them pull to the side. And that's it. But instead, you made it where it had to be a police stop. You had to cuff the man. You had to hem him up, and they saw how big they was, not knowing who they was, and thought, oh, I'm going to have to strong arm him. That's what these people thought.
Yeah.
Not knowing who he was. It's obvious. Obvious.
They knew what he was, right?
Black. That's what they knew. You understand? And then I've gone through that instance myself where, and here's the messed up part, y'all. Check it out. It's supposed to be a regular traffic stop. This was way before Katrina. Supposed to be a regular traffic stop because they said I went through a red light. It was a yellow light. And I'm going to tell you why it was a yellow light, and I was careful. I had my son in the car. You understand? And we're going to get off the subject a little bit, but basically, the guy was pulling me over, and I was telling him, no, that was a yellow light. But step out the car, so why I got to step out the car? You're going to write me the ticket, You understand? He calls another motorcycle cop over. Why? Because I'm 6 feet. He's 5-something. But I'm sitting up here with a shirt and tie on. You really going to try to hem me up just because of my height? I didn't threaten you. I didn't swear my arm. I ain't saying no NWA words. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what some cops do. Not all. Because I got some friends that cops now. And they've told me on the side, some of them, when they get intimidated, they flash that badge, and then they hem you up for no reason. That's what happened with Floyd. That's what happened here. And guess what? If the NFL wants this to go away, they're going to push for that police department to apologize. And they're going to push for them to deal with this without it going to court. Because this is bad PR. And if there's one thing the NFL don't like, it's bad PR.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, it's sad we got to start talking about sports like this, you know. But it's the world we live in, you know, and unfortunately it's 2024 and you still got people with the wrong mindset. It's just it.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the league wants it to go away, right? I mean, they know it's wrong. And the reason I'm saying the league wants it to go away is because even though Tyreek Hill was not wrong, as far as we know in anything, right? I mean, there's just nothing that says that he was wrong anyway. The league also understands they're seeing one of their players over and over on TV handcuffed.
Right.
You know, that image, him on the ground.
It's a bad look.
He's a black young man. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bad look.
Right. Because they know in a number of people's eyes, it perpetuates what their thoughts are of those players anyway.
Right. And the thing about it is this: they're not going to lose money over it. It just looks bad. It looks bad. And the longer it looks bad, that's when they really have to be concerned, because that's when they might lose money over it.
Right.
You know, and that's what it is at the end of the day. It's not about his shade. It's about the color of money.
You know, it's always one of the things I told my kids growing up. I said, if you can't understand why, what, when, and who and why, it don't make sense, follow the money.
Exactly.
Follow the money.
But I'm going to say this, and my wife told me I'm wrong for being so pessimistic. You know, it's one game, y'all. Fine, they did good. I give them their props. They should have beaten Carolina because they're not doing that well. They're not on the way to nowhere, you know. But I'm going to reserve my optimism. I want to see what happens up to Game 4. And me and Jazz already had this agreement. We're going to reserve our opinion till Game 4.
Game 4, huh? Game 4. Okay, so we're saying that the New Orleans Saints, after they play the Cowboys and then turn around and play the Eagles and then turn around and play the Falcons, right before they play the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, you and Jazz will be ready to give your final records for the season?
Oh, I have the feel. I have the feel for my opinion about that. See, right now, I can't sit up there and say, well, Dennis Allen needs to go. They won that game, fine, they did. I can't sit up there and blame it on nobody. They did fine. You understand? Even if they had lost yesterday, it wouldn't be fair to sit up there and say, oh, no, he's got to go.
Exactly.
All I would do is criticize what didn't happen, why it happened. But right now, it's one game, y'all. Don't sit up there and start breaking out Saints go all the way yet.
Oh, bless your boys, and I believe.
Bless you,
and all
boys.
that.
So stand up and get crunk yet. It's one game, dog. It's
Thank
one
you.
game.
Thank you. 6-11. Thank you.
Oh, man. Oh, I hope it ain't that. If it's that bad, oh, man, look. Jazz, I'm going to get my bag out layaway, dog. I just have it for me, bro.
6-11. 6-11. I'm going to just say this about you and Jazz's bag business.
6-11 gonna get me paid.
Oh,
No, y'all need it to be lower than that.
Nah, 6 and 11. Oh man,
Oh,
that's all,
no.
That's all we need.
You
6 and 11.
you gotta
Man,
be
look,
like
he was
less
ready
than
to
4.
break out the bags at 7 last year. Look, ooh.
Well, if we got less than 4 wins, I might be buying this radio station.
Oh, bro.
I might make that much money.
Bro, your bags. Can I just say here's the fault in your business plan?
What?
That people can get bags at the grocery store.
They're not gonna be. They're gonna be designed.
Oh, so they're gonna be like Zulu coconuts
like
bags.
Designer bags. Yeah,
I got you. So y'all gonna lose money decorating these bags.
Ain't no losing money. That's what we're trying to tell you. When the bags come out, it's
Everybody's
gonna be surefire profit.
Everybody's gonna want them like a Zulu coconut.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that, come on now, Coach. You remember the 70s. You know they ain't just walk in with a bag. They drew all on them bags and everything, dog. You know.
Yeah, no. I'm with you. I'm just trying to make it, a special bag that people want to pay for. It can't be just brown paper bag. You gotta have some glitter and some sparkles and some paint, something.
Jazz said he had a deal. He was gonna give me a pack of them. I could design them the way I need to. You know what I'm saying? To hook it up. That way you have them for different games. Have one with the gold on it one game. You put the silver on the other one, black on the other one. And put the team's name on.
I love it. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call. Call anytime. Please.
All right, cool.
I appreciate you calling. I appreciate what you want to talk about, and I love what you want to talk about. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
All right, y'all.
You know what, Coach? I'm gonna tell you this, right? I'm with him, right? All the way up to this. Not all the way up to this, but I don't have a feel for the offense yet, but the little bit that I saw yesterday, I am pleasantly surprised. I am pleasantly pleased. See that Morrow touchdown in the back of the end zone? I was more impressed by the fact that Clint had the tackle running a route like he was the option for the touchdown. I like those types of things. That lets me know the type of offensive mind that we have over there.
Well, let's see what George likes. Let's see what George saw yesterday and what he thought about the game, and maybe he's going to piggyback on what you said and talk about what he likes about the offense. George, you're on the Sports Report.
Man!
Turn your radio down.
Oh, bro, that's my sound effect, bro. Look, I can never watch a whole Saints game, bro. 40 years, almost 50 years in New Orleans Saints, ain't no way I can sit down and watch a whole Saints game unless I'm in the stadium. And just when I turned on the TV, they had finished the first half. They were going into the second half, going into the 2-minute warning and whatnot, right? And I look up and see the scope, and I flip the channel, right? That's how I learned to bake hams and so on, buttons and bake cakes, right? I see what the Saints doing, and I go see something else because I can't stand watching them on the TV, bro.
So you clicked to something about baking hams?
I'm trying to tell you, that's how I learned how to cure ham, sew on buttons, bake cakes. That's what I do. I can't watch the whole Saints game. I get PTSD every time I watch a game. And the Saints can be winning 36-0. And if I sat down and watched the game, the next thing I know, they'd be losing 43-36. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing that out there, bro. That ain't nothing unexpected for me. Because the Aints can show up at any time.
The Aints are here. What do you mean show up? They're here.
I said the Aints can show up. The Saints played yesterday.
No. The Aints are here. They're here. Them 6-11 boys is there.
Well, I'm gonna roll back with Jazz on that. I'm gonna have to wait and see.
Oh, so you're gonna go another? You're gonna be the four game man too?
Bro, because they came out gangbuster
And all of the people on TV were saying, the last time we seen the Saints come out with a 40-point game, they went to the Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be great? Super Bowl with the Saints in New Orleans? And we know them people ain't going to let that happen.
George, here's the thing. You ain't got to wait that long for the Super Bowl hype and the Saints playing in the Super Bowl. Let them boys luck up and win this week and be 2-0 and beat the Cowboys. The Super Bowl hype is going to be out of control in New Orleans. Out of control. With 15 games left, 16 weeks in the season, people going to have us already sitting out, a bye week. That's how dominant we're going to be after we beat the Cowboys.
See, back in the old days, if the Saints beat the Cowboys, that would have been our whole Super Bowl right there.
Well, it's going to be your Super Bowl this year.
Back in the old days, if the Saints had beat the Redskins, that would have been our Super Bowl right there.
Well, you about to have your Super Bowl this week.
Win another game all year.
About to have your Super Bowl this week. You better figure out who's going to perform at halftime. All right, George. Appreciate the call, man.
Hey, and tell Jazz, don't be giving away our business now. If he won't get in the bag business, he going to have to get in line, bro.
Hey, look. The business is up for sale to the highest bidder. Let me just tell you this. Jazz ain't telling you. I can tell you that. All right, George. Thanks for everything.
All right,
call back.
All
right. That was George. This is the Sports Report. We're going to a break, and we'll see you right after it. I'm Garrett Sastry. I'm here with Jazz. Come on back, y'all.
Hey, this is Abe Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard parishes? If so, it's important for you to understand objective information about 1,3-butadiene, volatile organic compounds, methane, and mercury, and how they impact your health and the natural environment. The Community Scientist is a service program of Rise St. James. Learn more at risestjames.org.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
The Sports Report.
Welcome back to the Sports Report. I'm the coach, Garrett Sastry. Talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. The station is WBOK 1230 AM. location is on Xavier University's campus. All right. Well, we've had a lot to talk about today, both on the field and off the field. On the field and off the field. Obviously, the off the field was Tyreek Hill and Calais Campbell. Another off the field issue, I shouldn't say issue, but announcement happened right before the games yesterday, and that was Dak Prescott being named basically the highest paid NFL player in history. So that's quite a title, the highest paid. Now, he won't have it for long. Somebody will be coming along to get it. But the highest paid NFL player in history, one Dakota Prescott. He's there's a lot. He's a lightning rod. There's a lot to talk about with him. And then another thing that was off the field was Jordan Love. It happened on the field, but all the news grew and the story grew as he was off the field. He's obviously one of the most popular players. He's a quarterback for one of the most storied franchises. He's a young, exciting player. And he got hurt in the end of the game against Philadelphia Friday night. And I know there's been a lot of concern and kind of wondering about him. And so he was a topic of discussion today on many sports shows. And let's listen to kind of what they have to say about him and kind of the latest update with Jordan Love and his health.
Let's go to Jordan Love now. Obviously, that's on Friday, and we heard all the reports, and it's 5 seconds left in the game. That's a bummer. Obviously, it's a bummer. 4 to 6 weeks is the projections here with the sprained MCL, or is this still the information we have on this particular Overreaction Monday?
I think it's going to be less. I think it's going to be closer to 3 to 4 weeks, and it depends on how long it's going to take him here. They'll see how he recovers, but I think the worst case was averted. Like, it could have been bad. You see him go down. Jalen Carter wraps up his leg on the left side, you see, and he goes down, and it was a bad look, but the test showed sprained MCL. That's probably 3 to 4 weeks. He's going to push to come back. If you look at the schedule, I think in 3 or 4 weeks, they play the Vikings at home. And again, we'll see how he recovers here, but that would be, I would think, a logical timeline and a logical spot for him to try to come back. And they're in an interesting situation here now because they traded for Malik Willis during the summer. They had Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford didn't play particularly well during the preseason. They cut him. They signed him back to the practice squad. They traded for Malik Willis. They got those two guys, and I think that's going to be the short-term plan here is to lean on those guys. I don't know how they're going to decide to do this yet. Maybe you play a combination of both of some sorts. Who knows? But
great. That's good.
That's good. Well, they have different skill sets. So, I don't know what they're going to do with that, but they're going to be without Jordan Love, I would say, multiple weeks. If I had to guess, it'll be 3 to 4 weeks.
It's hard to say. Maybe Adam Schefter stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. I just think Adam Schefter was not in the room with the doctors. Adam Schefter has not seen this man. But it could be 3 weeks because sometimes it is short, right? But, if I was the Packers, and I'm sure they are going to take their time with this, you don't want it to be – you'd rather him miss one more game or maybe even 2 than it just be nagging for the next 15. Because that's just the regular season. It's only going to get worse when you get to the playoffs. So it's better. You're going to be a playoff team. Probably. Let's get him healthy. That's how I feel about the old Jordan Love experiment. All right. Heading into the break. Finishing up the second hour. Heading into the third. And we're going to get back on those Saints. Some people call them the Aints. I'm going to call them the Saints for right now. And in this hour, we've got the limousine, the stretch limo, Derek Carr. He's not a used car. He is a stretch limo. We've got Alvin Kamara. Even though he's 29, Jazz realizes now he's got some gas left in the tank. We got our boy Rashid. I love a deep threat. Got Rashid coming up in this final hour. and then from DA. We got to let DA talk. He's taking so much grief. Let him bask in the glory of beating this garbage team they just beat. Come on back after the break. 504-582-9422 is the number to call. I'm the Coach Gary Sastra here with Jazz. Come on back after this break. We'll be waiting on you.
From the campus of Xavier University.
Look.
WBOK 1230 AM. Go. And Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is standing by his police commissioner following an FBI investigation into the NYPD. Adams, who is black, says he chose Edward Caban for the decades of experience he has in police work. Caban's home was recently raided by the FBI, and there are reports federal investigators are looking at whether Caban's twin brother James used his connection to his brother to illegally make money off of nightclubs. Several leading black organizations are warning of disinformation targeted at black Americans related to November's presidential election. A letter led by the nonprofit Onyx Impact says it is essential that black media and black gateway influencers and platforms have the resources and tools necessary to stem the rising tide of disinformation and provide their growing audiences with even more accurate information. A report from the organization earlier this year found that more than 40 million Americans in black online spaces could have received disinformation about the upcoming election. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
WBOK 1230 AM online at WBOK1230.com.
The Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, we're back. We're back. And we're waiting on you to call. Waiting on you to become part of the show. You're the most important part of the show, and we want you to know it. We really, really mean it. 504-582-9422 is the number. 504-582-9422. Some sad news. James Earl Jones passed away today at 93. Well, I hope I get to be 93, Jazz. Because I'm gonna tell you what, that's a life well lived. But James Earl Jones, you know him from a lot of iconic movies, whether he was acting in it or you just heard his voice in it. Passed away today at 93. This Saturday, September 14th, 2024, for voter registration, for people that want to register to vote, please go to Tulane Memorial Baptist Church. It's in Gentilly, 3601 Paris Avenue, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anyone who will be 18 years old by November 5th can register. Please bring a valid Louisiana state ID or driver's license. New registration and or changes to voter information will also be available at this time.
You know what? That's very important. That is very important, that especially at this time in our country's history, where the temperature is, the political temperature, just the temperature period around the states is kind of funky right now. And I know how we behave here in New Orleans, right? We love to have a good time. We love to enjoy ourselves. And any chance we have to give a party or go to a party, we will be there. We will make it happen, right? But with that being said, there is also a detriment to that attitude. And that attitude is that we only like to party, or we love to party. And when it comes time to be serious about things such as politics and the future of our city, we kind of get lackadaisical when that comes around. I have an idea, but I'm not sure what that's all about, but I do have an idea. But with that being said, what we are trying to pull attention to here at WBOK is not just the right, but the obligation that each and every one of you all have out there to fulfill your civic duty, not just because people have died in the past for you to go to your polling stations and cast your vote and let your voice be heard, but for the future, for your children, for your grandchildren, for your great-great-grandchildren. If we don't stand up and take control right now, make a statement, and let our voices be heard, who knows where this state will go. Just take a look at what's going on right now, and you'll have a good idea.
Well, again, earlier on in the show, I had a couple of things I read today in history. One was about the great tennis player Althea Gibson, and the other, I'll say it again because they were both in 1957. But President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the first civil rights bill to pass Congress since Reconstruction, a measure primarily concerned with protecting voting rights. It also established a Civil Rights Division in the U.S. Department of Justice. So we have to understand, people that aren't registered to vote, that there was a lot sacrificed. There were definitely lives lost to give you that right to vote, me that right to vote, any of us that right to vote. People of a certain color weren't allowed to vote because they didn't want us to have the power of the vote. Now we have the power of the vote, and people don't want to use the power, but they want to complain that they're getting something.
Exactly.
Well, he's this or she's that. Or did you vote? Okay.
All right, well, then don't say nothing. And that's been my thing right now. I mean, I'm upset with how things happen in the state. But when other people complain, I'd be like, well, let me ask you something. Did you go to the Houston game? The Saints Houston game? Yeah. Did you absentee vote? No. Did you early vote? No. Did you anything? No. Well, then shut up.
Right.
Silence.
Right. Don't talk about it now. Just
Silence.
let it go.
Yeah. Just let it go. Silence.
Just let it go.
You cannot say anything until the next election, the next gubernatorial election.
Well, a lot of times those are complainers. They want to complain, right? Complain about this, complain about that. And all you got to do is take your lazy butt to go vote. You can do it early. You can do it day. You can do it in the evening. You can do it.
Yep.
And you're gonna be off on election
on
day.
Election day to go do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to go and have fun,
but you're off to vote.
Right. Right. So I mean, hey, I say all that to say, last time we had that game out in Houston, a lot of y'all went out there and straight up neglected your civic duties. Please, let's not let that continue to happen. This time around, make sure you vote. Early vote, register. Anything that got to do with your political duties, make sure that it's taken care of this year round, because just look at what happened to our state and think about if you want the same thing to happen to our country.
Well, very good. Very good. So that was our public service announcement about voting, but both me and Jazz feel the same way about it, and that is get out there and vote and stop complaining and go do something about it. It's like you go somewhere and you go, we could be anywhere. I'm just giving a general example. And let's say it's me, you, and somebody else, Jazz. And I say, we should do this. And the third party's like, arr, and then you say, well, we should do this. And he's like, arr, and we're like, okay, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, I don't know. Well, then, then we're going to do what we want to. Right. Don't complain. You don't have an answer. You don't have a solution. Don't complain.
Right.
You don't have a solution. Keep your problems to yourself.
Yep.
Right. You got a solution? Let me hear it.
Let me voice.
You got a better option? Let me hear it. Then if you do have a good option, but we don't listen, guess what? Now you got a reason to complain.
Yep.
Now you got a reason to complain. Well, one thing we're not going to complain about is the Saints offense yesterday And one thing I'm never going to complain about is a deep threat. I think deep threats add just a big deal to your offense. They tape the top off the defense. I'm sure you've heard that. People have to match up with skill that can match the speed. And there's so many things that speed can do and a deep threat can do that can open up for your other receivers. And Rashid Shaheed provides that for Chris Olave in the bunch and for Kubiak and Carr in the bunch. So, I plan on listening to this young man a number of times on this show because I plan on him making a lot of plays on Sundays. So I plan on playing him a lot on Mondays on our radio show. But again, Rashid Shaheed, one of our Saints' bright spots.
Hello, everybody. Was it? I'll take it.
I think it worked out.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you saw in terms of that touchdown pass and how it developed for you?
Yeah, I just felt like it was a great executed play. Great play call at that time. That's a play that we practice, and Derek he told me to have my eyes open. If the safety came down, he kind of followed the over that was coming through, and as soon as I broke to the post, I saw no safety, and I knew that the ball was going to be in the air. But play only works like that if everybody executes their job. And shout out to O-line. Derek threw a great ball, led me out there, and I was able to track it.
I'm trying to having that play call come in that moment. I mean, it's early in the game. You're 5 plays in, and then all right, here you go.
No, as an offense, we love it. We love aggressive, mindset. Any chance we get to, push the ball down the field and to give an offense a spark, especially early in the game like that, super important. And I feel like it was a big play to get us going and get momentum.
What's different about this offense?
Man, we just feel like we're out there just playing football, playing super confident, playing fast. Guys know their assignments. Everybody's keyed in and super locked in onto the game plan. And, as an offense as a whole, we just feel more confident about, just going out there and, executing our job. And when we do that, I feel like it showed up today.
How bad do you feel like Derek
One more time, sorry.
How bad do you need to have a game like this? Or do you feel like you need a game like this?
I feel like we kind of all, as a whole offense, kind of needed a game like this just to get momentum going on into the next week. It felt good. It felt like we were pushing the ball, running the ball, throwing the ball. Derek came out. We expected him to play like that. He's a great player, and that's the expectation for himself, is to go out there and execute at a high level, and that's exactly what he did.
When the punter's giving you those kind of rollers, is it on you to decide, hey, I'm going to field this, or is there a call from the sideline if he tries to do this, we want to field it, instead of rolling those 20 yards? How do you handle that?
Yeah, we kind of try to want to field every ball. It's important not to let the ball roll and, try to get bad. They want the ball to roll for us to get, bad field position. So I just try to do my best to stay behind the ball. Wasn't expecting, the ball to, land that short, but I just tried to do my job, and, it worked out.
On the one you got to reverse field, did you feel like you were going to score?
I should have. I definitely should have, but, it was a good play. I was, happy to get my offense in a good position.
On your touchdown, were you worried that you were worried you were going to make it there, or you tripped a little bit?
I was stunned, but I did kind of, I was looking for the goal line. I dove, and I was just happy that the goal line was right there.
When did you get the pass interference call? Like he wasn't going to call it anymore.
I sold that. I sold it. I flopped a little bit, just a little bit. I saw the ball in the air. I saw I wasn't going to get to it. He kind of bumped me, so I, sold it to the best I could. The ref threw a flag, and the rest was history.
Did you feel the Superdome helped you on that moment too?
For sure, for sure. I was looking around, and I saw the flag. Everybody was screaming and yelling. It definitely helped. So shout out to fans.
Did you have paid any grief after the tackle? How would you grade his tackle on the kick return?
One more time, sorry.
Did you get paid any grief after the?
No. That was my fault. I should have just kept running up the sideline. I tried to cut back, but it wasn't there, and just got tripped up. But won't happen again.
Maybe it feels the same as it did during the preseason when you did, but how did the kick return with new rules, new setup, and all that feel in this environment?
Yeah, it was different for sure. Definitely, got that out the way. Just the feeling of this new rule. But I feel like as a whole, we executed to the best of our ability, and we did a good job. I feel like we'll go into tomorrow satisfied with how we did with that, how we handled it on both sides, kickoff and kickoff return. The overall game plan was great. I feel like we did a good job.
DA said to us earlier, the biggest thing after a game like this is keeping grounded, right?
Yes.
So how much was that his message to you all that?
Yeah, that was the whole message. Not a lot of games like this turn out to be, like this. It's going to be a lot closer. We're going to be a lot closer games. So it's just important that we move on to next week, enjoy this for the next 24 hours or so, and then come Tuesday, we're back at it on to Dallas, and that's the most important thing for us right now.
You and Derek had, even in the old offense, pretty good chemistry on some of those long balls,
Mm-hmm.
including in the opener, I think the game-sealing play last year in the first game right on third down.
Mm-hmm.
So when you know that there's going to be an overhaul, was there ever, before you really got into practicing it, did you ever wonder how that might affect your role, and is it kind of a relief to see that you can still be effective in the same way that you were last year in the new system?
It's always, a good feeling to be able to make the plays vertically down the field. I knew that I was going to get the opportunities. The coaches know that that's, kind of my strong suit. I take the top off any chance I get. And, I knew that it was going to be an important role in this offense, and it's going to continue to be.
On long balls like that, on kicks, you're kind of a unique guy because you have to do both. Is it difficult in the dome with the lights?
Just a tiny bit, just a little bit, but not too crazy. The lights are still really bright, but it's not too bad.
I know the big run get called back, but had that stood and had rushing yards, returning yards, and receiving yards, is that what you want your game to always look like in terms of being multifaceted in that way?
Yeah, absolutely. The more you can do as an offense is always important. The run game is going to open up the pass game, and we want to push the defense, we want to put pressure on them at all times, and I felt like we did a great job of that today. And that's what this offense kind of keys on is running the ball and making the defense kind of think as much as possible. Like I said, we did a good job of that, and that's why it turned out the way it turned out. So we're happy about it, but we're on to next week.
What did you see from the receiving room? Just looking at film, it looked like their defense was playing a lot off throughout the game. Was that something that you guys saw? You knew that you were going to attack most of the game?
Yes, absolutely. We knew that they were primarily a zone team, not a ton of man coverage. We knew that their safeties were going to come flying down on the run plays, all types of stuff like that. And I feel like we did a great job of preparation throughout the week to know, what the defense was going to do. And it turned out good. Thank you, guys.
All right, Rashid Shaheed. Hey, he's going to be a big factor for the Saints this year. I like him a lot. And so I like deep speed. Olave doesn't have it. Not that he can't catch a deep ball every now and then, but Olave doesn't strike any fear. And those guys back there can run just as fast as Olave. They know Shaheed can run faster than them. And so that's it. That's it. If we can uncork him, obviously the beginning of the games, it sets off a tremendous kind of mental edge going forward in the game and gives you confidence. But if we can uncork him at any time, that's going to do tremendous amounts for our throwing intermediate and short throws. Intermediate especially, that'll get the safeties out there. There's some room to work behind backers. So a guy with Rashid's talent and Rashid's ability gives you the thing. And Carr's got the arm to throw it. Sometimes you have quarterbacks that don't have the arm to throw it to a guy deep. And so they try to throw it to him early so he doesn't get too deep, but they can't reach him. But Derek Carr's got the arm to throw it to him. All right, coming up in the rest of the hour, we're going to have Alvin Kamara, the 29-year-old wonder. We're going to have Derek Stretch Limousine Carr. And then we're going to have Dennis Allen. All those guys, big-time performers yesterday, big-time contributors, and all of them deserve their props, so we're going to let them talk to us and tell them how they feel about everything they did. This is the Sports Report, 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. We're cruising along in this third hour. Give us a call. Join the party. It's WBOK, 1230 a.m. I'm the coach, Garrett Sachre, as always with Jazz running the show. Come on back after the break.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Your Power is On gospel music show is coming on at a new time. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
Boost your savings with a CD from Home Bank. For a limited time, Home Bank is offering 5.05% annual percentage yield on a 5-month CD. If you want a longer term, take advantage of the 4.50% APY on a 9-month CD. The minimum balance for this special is just $2,500. So speak with a banker at any Home Bank location today. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Discover the Leah Chase School, NOLA Public School's first new direct-run traditional public school in nearly 2 decades. We offer excellence in math, science, English, and social studies, focusing on unlocking every child's potential. Every scholar receives a personal device, regular assessments, clear family communication, as well as transportation services in a nurturing, arts-inclusive environment. Secure your child's K through 5th grade slot today. Apply at enrollnolaps.com and embark upon a unique educational journey.
New Orleans, get ready for the Big Health Event, a free event presented by the Urban League of Louisiana. Come see how health and wellness can lead to life-changing results for you and your family. Don't miss the Big Health Event on September 14th, sponsored by Ochsner Health.
Lock it in! September 14th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Montreal Convention Center. Free for the whole family. For more details, visit urbanleague.org. Don't miss out.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
Okay. Welcome back. We're glad to have you back on the Sports Report. We're in the middle of the third hour, having a tremendous show after a tremendous football weekend. And that's all led by the Saints, okay? And one of the offensive leaders of the Saints, one of the people that have to lead for this season to go, better than I expect, and like a lot of people want us to, is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has been the bell cow for this offense for a number of years, and finally looks like we got some weapons and an offensive coordinator over the last 2 years that knows how to use them. So I'm sure he's excited. I'm sure he's pleased, but let him tell you that. Here's Alvin Kamara.
How did it feel just that moment when you were recognized for the 50th 100-plus scrimmage game after the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I never really keep track of things like this. Doug had to, Doug always tell me what's going on, so he came and told me before. But man, it's cool. It's real cool because obviously been here my whole career, and just you don't really think about it. Well, at least I don't. You don't really think about the past years. Like I ain't thinking about 2017, 18. I'm just living in the now, right now. So just to kind of quantify, put a little stamp on what I've been able to accomplish is cool, and then just doing it with my teammates, and then obviously the Superdome, just recognizing me is cool.
And what was it like to see the offense doing what people kind of thought it might do?
Yeah, I mean it's cool, man. When you, I mean that's what we made some changes for, and obviously we've been grinding through camp, and we know the type of playmakers we have, and I always say it, I'm not worried about anything that's going on outside of the building.
we just worried about us. So we were able to come in and execute. And, you know, I think it was some plays that we still had out there that we wanted, but it looked good today.
Back off of that, you talked about the grind of this offseason was. How important was it for you guys to start this way?
I think I'll go off what Tyron said. I mean, this one game won't define the next game. I think it's just, you know, it's a Sunday. We had a good game. We came out, we executed. I mean, it is what it is. But you want to come out every game and you know, try to dominate and have a strong performance. So, you know, I think it's still Sunday, so 24 hours, and we'll get into the next. We'll go on to the next.
What's Clint like on the sideline?
I ain't even see Clint, man. I don't know where Clint was. Nah, I ran into him a couple times, but he's so locked in. He's focused. Like he kind of in his own world. But I talked to him a couple times, just what I liked and what I saw, and you know, he kind of got fired up because he's like, man, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So I like him down on the sideline. So hopefully he stays down there. But he locked in.
How much did that touchdown to Rasheed really set the tone for the offense today?
I mean, I think it was good for Derek, man. I love that he stood back there, and I was kind of looking back. I was being a spectator a little bit. I'm like looking at him, and he just stood in there and launched it. And obviously, you know, we got guys that can run, and Derek got the arm to be able to put it on the spot for him. So, I mean, I'm happy I think he got hit, but I mean, he stood in there and delivered. So, it's just dope to see those two guys connect because, I mean, you know what type of player Shaheed is, and then Derek's been working. And, you know, he wants to be great. He wants to execute. And, you know, it's good to have these days like this where you kind of see what the future could look like.
You think Derek needed a game like this?
Yeah. I mean, I think we all want to see Derek ball because, I mean, we see it in practice. And then, you know, he put so much into it, and he wants to be great. He wants to be perfect. And as a quarterback, you know, and me looking at a quarterback, that's what you want your quarterback to embody, like perfection. So he takes a lot of pride in it, and to see him be able to go out there and you know, get some of those shots that he wanted, and you know that he knows he can hit in front of everybody, it's like, okay, yeah, I got it. I told y'all without saying I told y'all.
Did anything feel different about your role today?
Man, I just employee number 41. I'm just showing up to work, man. I'm just showing up.
When an offense scores on its first 9 possessions, and it's a new offense, I mean, I know you don't want to make too much out of one game, but for a debut like that, I mean, how do you put that in perspective?
Like I said, I mean, any game you want to come out and execute. I hope for the whole season we score on every possession that we get the ball, but you know that's far-fetched, but you know, I think we're gonna work like you know, that's the goal, that's the standard. We're gonna always work and come out and hope that that's the outcome. But I mean, for today, just speaking on today, it was good to see, it was good to feel, you know. Man, I've been here a while, and I know what it's supposed to feel like, and that felt good today. So it's definitely exciting.
You had the rushing touchdown at one point, they got called back, and the offense just kind of kept going back to you over and over again. Does that mean something to you, like in a moment like that, where they keep going back?
Yeah. I mean, Clint said it. He like, man, I'm gonna give it to you. I don't care. And I told him, I'm like, man, I told him. I was telling Juwan and Taysom on the sideline. I'm like, you know, sometimes you might get down there and then, like, for instance, like I know people always talk about like, oh, Taysom steals your touchdowns or something, right? And I'm like, in those moments, you'd be like, dang, I wish I got it. But today, Clint went back to me. I'm like, damn, get that shit to somebody else. But I mean, obviously I got the win for it, and then Clint got the belief, and then the O-line and everybody just executed. So I was able to get in there. But you know, it's dope when you got a play caller that, you know, trusts in you and believe in you, and just got to go in there and make a play.
Do your teammates say that, or do like fantasy players tweet that at you?
I mean, it's just not just Taysom, but you know, Taysom obviously he get a lot of run down there on the goal line and stuff. But really, teammates say like, man, Taysom stole your touchdown again. I'm like, and then he'll come to me and be like, I'm sorry, AK. I'm like, bro, what are you apologizing to me for? But
when you put up, like last year, y'all ended the season scoring 48 points, and a lot of y'all said, you know, you felt like you were playing your best football. When you have a new offense like this, is it possible to feel like you picked up where you left off?
I don't know the answer to that, but Derek, I mean, he's been saying it all week, like, let's pick up where we left off last year, like them last 5. So, I mean, I guess that kind of resonated with the offense, you know, so.
How's it good to be able to go to Clint and kind of talk to him and him listen to you and maybe make some changes based on what
It's good. Even if he don't listen to me, I'm going to keep talking to him. But, no, it's good. It's good because, I mean, going back, like, I was kind of like that with Sean, you know, going, talking to him, kind of trying to be in his head and ask what he sees and then, you know, kind of sharing what I see. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for with Clint. You know, today it was pretty light, but, you know, we talked a little bit, exchanged some ideas and some views, and, you know, he was receptive to it. So, I mean, it's good to have him down there.
I'm not asking specifically
Mhm.
about the contract situation.
Yeah.
I know that the contract situation has been such a conversation for
Mhm.
Indians this year. With no deal done before week 1 or
Yeah.
reported, you still come out and have a game like this.
Yeah.
But contract aside,
Mhm.
what do you believe that a performance like this, you going out still performing for the team and everything like that, what do you believe that that says about you, maybe also to younger players like
Yeah.
in those similar situations?
Yeah, you know, I think everybody always says I got I'm a mystery, right? So, you know, they don't know what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, but saying it without saying it, I kind of made it pretty clear, and I wanted to make sure that mentally, you know, obviously I didn't come to OTAs. I wasn't here for, I was here for mini camp, left that last day, and then, you know, everybody was just kind of like holding their breath to see if I was going to show up to camp. But I already knew in my head, I was like, man, I'm going to show up and I'm going to work like I always do, and I'm going to perform like I always do, God willing. And, you know, for the younger guys, I mean, you know, those guys were happy that I was there. Obviously, like, man, I didn't know you was going to be here. I'm like, man, I was going to be here, bro. I got y'all, you know. So, I mean, I know you said not talking about contract, but we talking about contract. Like, it didn't get done. Like I said, it is what it is. It may get done. It might not get done. I'm just focused on football right now, so I don't want to talk contract at all. Like, I just want to. I don't want to be. I've never wanted to be the center of attention on anything, on any front, right? So, I don't want to be sitting here trying to negotiate a contract while we trying to win games or while we trying to get to a Super Bowl. And I meant it when I said it the other day. We'll talk about it after the season. So.
Do you feel that like it's an important showing that like that's not holding you up from?
Oh yeah, man. It's not. Like I said, I meant it when I said it. Like I'm not worried about it. I'm here to play. Like I'm gonna play. I'm gonna perform. Like it's not. I don't got no illness. I don't got no mystery injury. Nothing. Like I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play. I'm gonna perform. I'm gonna be here with my teammates, coaches, and then I mean, just outside of all that, I think the most important thing, I mean, I love this city, right? You know, I love the fans. I love these people. They support me. They've been supporting me for years now, right? So, I mean, it would be kind of, for me, in my head, it would be kind of selfish to not go out there and, you know, I mean, I interact with so many people every day. Like, these people, like, love me. Like, I'm family. And I feel the same way, vice versa. So, I don't know if I'll be doing myself a disservice if I didn't come out here and try to put on for those people, you know what I'm saying, that have been supporting me.
And I want somebody to walk through the tone for the pregame introduction of the years ago, how you react to this is kind of going back to what you just said.
Yeah. Man, it's love. Like, man, I love this city. Like, I truly, truly, truly love Who Dat Nation. As cliche as it may sound, you know, everybody says that, but I'm for real. Like, this is like family, home. Like, you know, and when I speak, I mean it. Like, when I say I want to be here, I mean it, you know. So, you know, I think you always see the fans and they talking about, well, like, oh, well, you need to be here forever and this, that. Like, you know, I don't want that to be the focus of, you know, what's going on. I just want to come out here like it's a Sunday. We out here performing, playing. You know, I get to interact with fans. I get to feel the love from them, and then we get to get a win. So it's cool for the city, cool for us, cool for me. We just keep it moving. Appreciate y'all. Yeah.
All right, well, that was Alvin Kamara, and real happy Alvin Kamara, playful mood Alvin Kamara, Alvin Kamara that, you know, may feel like he's got a new lease on life with the offensive coordinator and the new system. I still think it's a little too early to tell let's just see where everything is, week 8, 9. When we get to midpoint of the season, I think we'll have an idea of not only kind of where the offense is going and all that, but has the team of the players still bought into the offense? Have they still bought into DA as their head coach? I think we'll know a lot about that by the time we hit middle season. Derek Carr is always trying to be the consummate leader and team builder, and you can hear that in his responses to questions. He's always saying the right thing. He's always doing, quarterback 101, and he's always doing the right things. But I think he's someone else who's excited, someone else who kind of feels a relief, someone else who feels like this offense is going to show what he can do. And just like we let Alvin tell us about how excited and pleased he was, let's listen to what Derek has to say about his feelings on this offense and the game plan.
All right.
So Derek, are you gonna get a new social media post for the Shaheed touchdown, or do you just recycle the one?
You talking about where he's down there somewhere? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not very creative, so it might be the same.
Change the captions for like 2024.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the idea. Yeah, it might be the same. I don't know. But yeah, that was a fun way to start the season for sure. He better not. That's an option. I was about to say he better not go back up after that.
What was it like just having him down there? How did it go?
It was great. In the preseason, we only have so many few opportunities, and we're not really game planning, not really watching film on who you're playing either. And so, like the feeling on the sideline is like practice, But when you get into a regular season game and you can feel the presence of, we have a lot of veterans on offense. We got a lot of older guys that have played a lot of football. And he can feel like, hey, we got your back, and we're telling him, hey, stay aggressive. He's coming to me, stay aggressive. And it's like you can feel that energy from each other. I think it's nice to have him right there. And it's nice to have my quarterback coach right there be a buffer. Because it's not always going to be perfect, or it's not always going to be pretty. So it'd be nice to have someone there to be a buffer as well. At times. And so, I think that they obviously, you could tell, have all worked together. You can tell that their cohesiveness and all that was unbelievable, to me. I thought that was really cool to see. That's something I was actually excited to see, how they made adjustments, how they talked about things, because, I've seen it done the right way. I've seen it done the wrong way, and I was excited to see how they did it. So it was cool to see, but that's just one game, so hopefully we can keep that going.
Could there have been a better proof of concept for the offense, just all the stuff you're working on, than what you guys are able to go out there and do today?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you score 47 points or whatever it was, and that's hard to do at any time, especially in this league, and especially against that defense. They're unbelievable, and so hopefully the fans and everybody got to see what it can be, what it could potentially be, but everyone's going to want to talk, how exciting it was for the offense, but our defense gave us a lot of short fields. We were able to go score in the red zone, which, was awesome and all that, but, we get a block punt on special teams. It's a team game. And so, yeah, you guys are going to get annoyed at me for saying that, but I'm going to say it all year. This is a team. This is a team that is super close to one another. The unity that our team has, the cohesiveness, the brotherhood that we have, yes, I want to give praise to Clint, and I want to give, praise to, the defense and all that. But we're all in this thing together, and so them setting us up for short fields allowed us, it's hard to score that many points when you have to do it from the 20 every time, But them setting us up with short fields and us executing, allows a day like that to happen. And so, yes, hopefully everyone's excited about that. But at the same time, I hope that our defense gets a lot of praise for setting us up to be able to go do that.
How did you see on the Shaheed touchdown?
Yeah, so it was great design. Clint set it up, single high. And, obviously there's different read, check, and all that kind of stuff. But we got the look, and the safety stayed on that hash and stayed low. Put my eyes on him to make sure he didn't get off, and then Rasheed beat the corner. And that corner's probably thinking he has help, there. But just the way that Clint designed it, to put something in front of him, where that guy can get the ball too, or that guy can get the ball down the field. And it was just great design by Clint. Good job by the offensive line. Give me that half a second extra so that I could make that throw. And, you know, she just went and got it.
They had aggressiveness on third down, opening drive, and have him go like, let's go deep, you know.
Yeah.
What was that say about Clint and the kind of offense he had?
It says that he's going to stay true to what he has on the call sheet and what we watched on film. You know, there was an opportunity there that we felt that was there, and we talked about it throughout the week. And you know, he didn't shy away from it. He's like that's why we practice. You know, that's why we go through the film and all that. And when it came through the headset, I was like, oh, let's go. And so that one fired me up too, because he stayed true to what we thought we'd get in that moment.
Derek, how on point was Clint on third down? Like, it was a 3rd and 7, pitch to Alvin. It seemed like you guys had him off balance on third down all game.
I mean, I hope all this love continues all the time for Clint. Because this is a long year, and I'm going to remind y'all about everyone loving Clint and myself right now. But, you know, I think, you know, it was he had a great game. And again, anytime you can have a great game in this league, coaching or playing, you know, you'll remember it forever, you know. And he did. He had a great day. You know, our guys, you know, had a great plan on certain situational stuff for us. We all believed in it. We executed in practice, and we executed in the game. And so, yeah, I thought the game plan was awesome. You know, I got to move around more out of the pocket than I ever have got to in my life. So, I've been praying for these days. This was awesome.
Eric, five different players reached the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
How gratifying is that?
It's amazing, and you know, you try your best, you know, to, you know, highlight players. You know, everyone in the world knows Olave is our #1 guy. You know, everyone in the world knows I want to throw it to him 30 times a game. You know, and for us to still be able to stay balanced and be a balanced attack, and you know, there's things that he's doing to defenses, you know, without him even touching the ball sometimes. And I know that's not fun for him or his fantasy owners, but it helps us as a team. And to get 5 different guys in the end zone, you know, that just shows the versatility and, you know, that we're not just going to be one-dimensional. We have to be a balanced team if we want to do what we want to do. And so, you know, it's not always going to be, you know, that way or that easy to do one or the other. And we just got to figure out a way to win. And like I told y'all last year when I came here, all I want to do is win. And so if that means throw it 10 times or throw it 50 times, I really couldn't care less. I just want to win. So that just shows me we found a way to get in the end zone. We found a way to win today, and that was what it took today. You know, Da kept saying it takes what it takes, and you know that's just what it took today.
Derek, you say you like to run the ball, but that criticism did already come for you on social media.
It did.
You didn't just take the rushing touchdown. Why did you decide to throw it?
Because Foster waved his hand. Anytime a receiver waves his hand as a quarterback's running this way and they wave their hand in the middle of the field, we just feel like we have to throw it. It's like a bug to one of those zapping lights. I don't know what it is. I was about to run it because to be honest with you, he wasn't even in the read. And so I was about to take off and just go in, but Foster waved his hand, so I have to throw it.
Derek, what was the design on that play? Like, was Landon Young an option for that? I mean, what was the...
Landon caught a touchdown in practice. Yeah, and so, I mean, you know, it sounds funny, but I mean, everyone, that could have been a fun one to talk about too. You know, getting Landon involved in the pass game. But Landon was for sure a viable option. But yeah, I won't get too much into the read and scheme, but.
The third one that you had, it looks like, did you see him early enough?
No,
did you see him late when he was?
He's just a part of the read in a scramble drill opportunity, and so they sat low and outside on AK. Then I went to move, and for some reason I just felt like there was no edge to the defense, so I just went to extend the play in the red zone. You know, some of the best plays happen when you just extend them down there, and we had 2 of them today. So I just extended it, and we always talk about that route getting thrown on a scramble drill. And I just put my eyes there, and I heard Foster yelling from the sideline the corner route. So I'm just trying to give Foster all the credit I can.
Let's take 2 more for Derek, please.
Did you see a different, like, do you feel a difference in the crowd today, or have you seen the Superdome rocking like that in the good buses?
They liked us a lot today. That was nice, and that was a lot of fun. So, you know, last year, you know, towards the end of the year, it felt like how it should, you know. But we didn't earn that at the beginning of the year last year. And so, we're just trying to, show our city how much this means to us. And I was told not to lower my shoulder anymore because of that. I'm just trying to show, my teammates, our city, our organization, I'll do whatever it takes for us, But DA cussed me out and said, don't do that again. So, to us, we're just trying to win their heart. And I know that when we play well, because the standard is so high here, that, we'll have their heart. And when we have their support like that, you see how they're taking timeouts on third downs. They're taking timeouts down the red zone. The fans, I don't know, they understand, when they, when they're behind us like that, it's such an advantage for us as a team. It is so hard to communicate. A lot of this game is communication. And if you can't communicate because of the fans, that is a distinct advantage. And so we're super thankful for them,
Well, again, as I told you, Derek Carr is really good. It's professional quarterbacking 101 when he goes to his press conferences. We're about to head to a break, and we'll be right back. You hear the music playing. I'm Garrett Sastre, the coach. The show is the Sports Report. Come on right back after the short break. We got a lot of good show left to go.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the Ninth Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
It's no secret that in New Orleans, we love good food just as much as we love our community. So why not make groceries while supporting local food producers too? Crescent City Farmers Market hosts year-round, rain or shine, where you can buy the region's freshest in-season produce, dairy, meat, seafood, and more. Using SNAP benefits at our market is easy, and with Market Match, you can double your dollars. Yes, that's right. Swipe your EBT card and we'll match every SNAP dollar, doubling your grocery budget so you can purchase more fresh fruits, vegetables, and food-bearing plants. Check us out on social media and visit us at marketumbrella.org for dates and locations. See you at the market.
Tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon to What's Growing New Orleans. Hosted by Angel Vanderpool, What's Growing New Orleans is a weekly conversation about developing and growing Black business.
The Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
All right. Back for our last segment before we end today's show. It's been a good one. We've talked about the Saints, talked about college, talked a little high school, and we're going to do that every day this week. But we've listened to the leaders, Rashid, Carr, and Kamara. But now let's hear it from the supreme leader, the main guy, the head honcho, Dennis Allen. I know we all want to hear from him. And if I was him, I'd want people to hear from me, too, after this win. So here's Dennis Allen.
Got a chance to meet with the players, watch tape. Still a lot of things that we got to get cleaned up, but I thought overall it was a good performance again in all three phases. So a lot of the things that I thought after the game, I thought held up. And now, really, honestly, our attention is totally focused on Dallas now. Once we got these corrections made, and we got to start, getting ready for those guys.
I think Dallas had something like 17 pressures or 17 QB hits or something yesterday. I mean, is that one of the most eye-opening things about that?
Well, I'll be quite honest with you. We're just now getting into, starting to look at that, and yet that doesn't shock me. I think they got a lot of talented players over there on defense. And I think Mike Zimmer is one of the better defensive minds in our league. And so they'll definitely be a challenge for us to have to deal with, really, in all three phases. You know, I think they're going to be well coached in all three phases, offense, defense, and in the kicking game, and they got talented players over there. So this will be a great test for us.
How did your offensive line grade out on the film review, and specifically in the two positions where you acknowledged that they weren't set?
Yeah, look, I thought those guys played well. I mean, you know, you got to look at everything in the totality of what, you know, we were able to do. And I said this, I think, after the game. You know, when you run the ball like that, when you're able to be effective throwing the ball and your quarterback doesn't get hit much, and you put points up on the board like that, I think you can't do that and have your offensive line not play well. And so I thought those guys played well, and yet we'll have a much stiffer test this weekend.
When you mentioned cleanup, were there glaring things? I guess the penalties would be one thing that was standing out. Were there glaring things that just kind of?
No, look, I mean, I thought the execution overall was pretty good, you know. But, you know, in a game that plays out differently, in a tighter game, some of these mistakes, you know, certainly could hurt you. I mean, we dropped coverage on a quarterback scramble one time and gave up a, you know, explosive play. You know, we missed a couple opportunities, you know, potentially for some big plays, you know, offensively. We had a big return, you know, on the opening kickoff that had a chance to be a really, really big play. And I felt like we left, you know, a lot of yards on the table in the return game. So there's certainly a lot of things that, you know, we got to clean up. But in terms of just a first game out and from an execution standpoint, I felt like all three phases executed at a pretty high level. Yeah, I thought his first regular season game was pretty good, and there's still, you know, there were still too many negative plays that we've got to get corrected, and I think we will. You know, I think the key for us is, you know, that race to improve from week 1 to week 2, and it has to be in all areas. And so I think that's what our focus is going to be.
About the way that you guys are able to create rushes before, like man average like 2.6 yards before you got touched, like the way that you guys are able to create lanes.
Well, I mean, you know, I think, you know, Clint, Rico, JB, Jari, all those guys that are involved in Clancy, all those guys that are involved in the running game and coming up with a good plan. I think they do a really good job of that. I think, you know, our guys did a great job of targeting in the run game. I think that was probably one of the better things that we did. We got on the right people, and I think that's part of it, you know, and they've got some different defensive structures that can make that challenging at times. And so, and then I thought, you know, we did a good job of kind of reestablishing the line of scrimmage up front. I thought we you know, we were able to get some movement on the line of scrimmage, create space in the defense, and the enemy, a great run defense, is space. And so, you know, we're trying to create as much of it as we can offensively, and we're trying to eliminate as much of it as we can defensively.
Turner spoke pretty passionately yesterday about his desire to be on the field and performing. Just curious, what does it say to you as his coach that there was all this contract stuff going on that didn't get resolved before week 1, but he's didn't hold out, he's still out there?
You talking about Alvin? Okay, yeah. Look, Alvin's been outstanding. I mean, he showed up, came to work every day. He's been a real pro about, you know, handling his business. And look, we know that contracts are part of, you know, what we deal with in the NFL. And I think, you know, he's kind of put that to the side and just focused on the things that he can control. And that's how he goes out and plays the game, you know. And so he's been great. I thought he was awesome in the game. Thought he ran the ball hard. Thought he ran the ball effectively. You know, ran the plays the way they were designed to be run, you know, and I think he benefited from that. So yeah, I think that was good to see. I think we saw that, you know, Alvin, you know, he still got the ability to be a really good player for us.
What kind of example or maybe message do you hope that sets for maybe younger guys in the room and things like that, you know, he didn't complicate the situation with holdouts and all
Yeah, look, I mean, and I think all situations are different, you know. I mean, it's hard to put them all in one bucket and say this is how these things are handled, but yeah, I mean, I look, at some point, you know, you gotta go play, and so he decided when he got here that he was going to practice and he was going to play, and I'm glad he did. It's been good.
Yes, I think the one player you probably didn't ask too much about was Blake Boothby. First kick of the season, 57-yarder, and then he goes deep in the leg. What do you think about his improvement from year 1 to year 2 in the early season?
Well, it's one game, all right. So, but I thought he kicked the ball outstanding all throughout camp, and I think, you know, coming out in the first game and your first kick is a 57-yarder, and he knocked it through with plenty to spare, and then came back and had another 52-yarder, and then was, you know, on all the extra points. I mean, I don't know if you can kick it any more down the middle of the uprights in those situations. So I thought he kicked the ball great. I thought he was really good on kickoffs, putting the ball basically where we wanted it to be put. So I was pleased with, you know, what he showed us in week 1, and, you know, anticipating and expecting that continue.
How much more confident are you now to do that? Because how often would it have been last year to let him go out and let his first kick be a 57-yarder?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I felt good about him going out and kicking it. And so, yeah, I don't know if it would have been different last year or not. But I certainly felt good about putting him out there and letting him kick it through this year.
Given like the weather situation, you've been through this a lot, but knowing there's a storm in the Gulf, you talk to young players, does it change your preparation this week, or is it just kind of?
Yeah, well, I think like everybody else in the city, we're monitoring it, and we'll make plans accordingly. You know, I think we're going to meet again this afternoon and you know, see what kind of plans we need to make, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I think we probably do this better than anybody else in the National Football League. So, you know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you only got to see your arm one time, which is a good thing. What do you think about this? One time.
Well, you had 2. You had 1 going in. That's all right. But look, here's what I'll say. I was glad he got into the game. I'm glad he got a couple of kicks in. I don't think it was his best performance, obviously. But to get into a regular season game, get a couple of kicks in, and then, you know, I expect that he'll be much better going forward.
Does having to wait until 4 minutes and 40 seconds or whatever it was in the game?
Well, I've never punted, so, but I would assume that's probably not the easiest thing to do, you know. I mean, you're standing around a lot, and so yeah, I'm sure that's a challenge, and yet nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go do your job, and so some things are harder than others.
Have you seen the team just handle the big win week 1? Like, they come in today with the right mindset?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's 1 of 17, you know, and so we hadn't accomplished anything. So let's just put our head down, focus. The same thing that we did to get ready for Carolina in terms of our preparation. mentally, physically, emotionally. Put our head down and go to work. And that's.
You've seen the team do that? They not get too high after.
Yeah, I mean, again, look, the honest to God's truth is, okay, and I told the team this today, there's a lot of people outside the building that didn't think we were, capable of doing much. Those same people are probably saying a lot of great things about you today, that we're saying a lot of negative things about you, before yesterday's game. So we try not to pay much attention to that. We try to just focus on what our job is, what we need to do, and how we can get better. And we know that we're going to have a extremely tough challenge this Sunday going up to Dallas.
All right, well, that's DA, and that's our show. This is the Sports Report. I'm Garrett Sachere with Jazz, and we'll see you tomorrow.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK 1230 AM, Go, and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The agent for Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill is accusing Miami-Dade police of misconduct for cuffing his client outside of Hard Rock Stadium before Sunday's game against Jacksonville. Hill, who was black, was given a ticket for reckless driving and went on to catch an 80-yard touchdown pass. The Justice Department says two alleged leaders of